has begun!
Hello and welcome to the CTB Show. Today is August 26, 2018. The weather is muggier than shit. The Dow. Oh, you're off mic. That'd be $25,790.37.
Staying the same.
Welcome to the show. Yeah, it has not moved. It will not move. It will tank one day. My name is Evan the Mayor. That is Brian the Levy.
Still don't know what it means.
This is Casey the Kasem.
Howdy.
Special guests today, John Poveromo, stand-up comedian. Say hello.
What up?
And his friend, my friend, all of our friends, Ryan Metzger. Say hello.
Hey guys, what's up?
All right, we got a lot of comedy to talk about today. But before we do that, top of the show, plugs. We just recorded our, third tip jar episode, Brian Levy?
Yeah.
Thank you to all of the people that have been sending us cash, cold hard digital money on Venmo. That's at City That Breeds. If you enjoy those tip jar episodes, send us $1. And if you really like them and want a topic of your own to be used in a future episode, tip us $5, and we will do that. How do you feel about that?
I liked it. We had a lot of fun.
We talked about children's toys.
Yes.
Sorry.
Casey missed it. Casey likes Legos.
Yeah.
Oh, they came up.
Oh, yeah, all that 90s and 80s shit came up. All right, guys, let's get your social media deets and your gigs and your history and everything. That's going to take us at least 40 minutes, and I'm happy to do it. Introduce yourselves, please, one at a time, not simultaneously.
I'm John Poveromo. You can find me at John Poveromo at everything, at Instagram and Twitter, but just go to johnpoveromo.net, and I will be headlining the Comedy Loft in D.C. next weekend, 4 shows.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man.
It's a big deal. I have not.
Well, you're going to go next weekend.
Well, now that you've told me that I am. Yes, I am going to go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Have you done any gigs here in Baltimore?
No.
Your Magoobies, joke houses, and your
I'd
Baltimore.
love to do Magoobies, but no, I've never been.
It's a very inviting space. It's very well put together.
Nice.
Up in the Timoniums, Maryland.
All built to code?
Yes. It will not burst
I like
into
how
flames.
The architecture is what you're like, yeah, no, it's all sturdy walls and good floors.
Well,
good floors.
I'm not a stand-up comic, but I do understand that a nice high ceiling is desirable. Not having like a ceiling that's like 1 foot above you. It's a basement type situation.
Right.
Guys, how do you like your acoustics when you do your show?
I actually like
the opposite.
Yeah, I have the opposite.
Oh, you
I
like the tiny
I
space?
like it tight. Yeah, I don't mind.
The laughter echoes better.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, well,
get to fake it
I
out
guess
better.
my acoustical leanings are just a little different, but I've never been on stage. I've never done any sort of stand-up comedy. Speaking of which, tell us like your style. I've seen your comics, or what would you call them? Your art pieces.
Oh, my cartoons?
Yeah, your cartoons. Cartoons, that's a good word.
Yeah.
I was impressed because the artistic style from one to another, there's like a mixture of art styles going on.
Thanks.
How did that come about? Like, so you're doing more than one kind of comedy. You're doing stand-up. You're writing jokes for other people. Apparently, yes.
Yeah. I write jokes for other comics and stuff too, and I'm doing stand-up comedy. And the art thing came about. That's what I wanted to do first. Like,
okay.
I either wanted to be a cartoonist or a comedian. So I knew like immediately I wasn't going to make any money. I just had that goal set first.
You're not Bill Keane.
I was like, I don't want to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, jeez, who is Bill Keane?
Bill Keane.
You can't all. Yeah, that's true, man. You can't all draw just circles and fucking hope it works.
Jeffy, get off that chair.
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't know what.
Draw dotted lines and not even
Yeah,
have anybody.
exactly. And not even in a panel script. He's like, fuck it. I'm just going to draw a circle, and the newspaper will have to deal with my bullshit. That's as anarchist as that fucking guy gets. He's like, circles.
Oh, you want a square? Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
Who
And they're
stole
like,
that cookie? Not me.
He's got cookie crumbs on his face. That's how you know he did it.
Oh, Jeffy.
Bill
Jeffy.
Keane's a rebel.
Doesn't his son do it now?
Yeah, I think his son does it now. That's the best thing about being a cartoonist. Like, you can literally just you just fucking hope your son learns how to draw, and then that's it. Like,
Lord
listen, when I
Walker's been
die,
dead for 50 years, but Beetle Bailey still keeps coming.
yeah,
They
I
got
know.
a new Nancy cartoonist. Did you see that?
Yeah, people are really pissed.
Some people, I like her stuff a lot.
She's pretty.
The new stuff.
Yeah, the new Nancy's.
Oh, I've never
really,
seen
really
New
good.
Nancy.
She's like super existential dread.
She's not whiny anymore.
She's whiny, but like modern whiny.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about modern.
so like Friends is problematic whiny.
no.
Oh,
not
okay.
that
She's
funny.
She's
not
Gen
millennial
X
whiny.
whiny, so it's
Yeah.
not quite modern, but it's
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
there.
It's
All
closer
right.
to for Nancy.
Yeah, right.
That'd be great if they made Nancy black.
Ooh.
That, then
if
people
they-
will be
like,
really pissed.
Why don't they
Could you
just fucking
imagine
do that shit?
Some old man opens up his door. I love Rex Morgan and Nancy. Oh my God, she's black.
Blancy. No.
Oh God. Oh, that's.
All right, so you're headlining. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
You're
no, so the
headlining down to
cartoons
DC
came
next
out that
weekend.
way.
I'm going to be there. You've got a book of your drawings, which is called. I'm sorry, I forget the name
It's
of it.
drawings from a nobody.
Drawings from a Nobody, which you can purchase on your website.
Yes.
And nowhere else, I've noticed.
Please do. Yeah. I'm real lazy about that.
Oh.
I should have. I know. I was supposed to do the whole shit with Amazon.
I think I was going to say, if you list things on Amazon, they want like, an absurd
They
amount
do,
of money.
and I didn't want to give them any money.
Yeah.
And, if it was making a shit ton of money, then I'd be like, sure, why not?
Right.
But I'm not going to fucking give Amazon.
Makes a good coffee table book.
Yeah, it does.
Very good.
Yeah, and a paperweight.
All right, so that's your current deets. Give us a little taste of your background, where you came from, where you went to school. I don't know. People in Baltimore are very obsessed with like where you went to high school
Oh, wow.
and or college. But I guess because you're not from Baltimore, that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, we're not going to know your high school, so
Nah.
you know.
Yeah. Origin story: parents were killed at a circus. No,
Cool.
I don't know. That'd be cool though, right?
You're a trapeze artist,
circus?
and now
Yeah.
you fight crime.
I'm Robin. I'm Robin. I'm
You're
sure
Robin.
I can't be Batman. I'm not tall enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or he was just at the circus and it was a tragic accident.
Yeah, it was
Just
rogue
terrible.
elephant.
is there like
Elephant too.
Right?
is there a comic book resource that gives like Bruce Wayne's height?
I'm sure it's
Oh
6'2".
yeah, they've got it.
They just showed he's an atheist. I'm sure they have his height.
Yeah. Spider-Man's
Oh.
5'11".
That seems.
If anybody wants to.
I just thought Peter Parker would be like 5'8".
Really?
Kind of.
I know Wolverine's really short.
Yeah, Wolverine is short. He's like 5'4".
5'3". Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure in all the who's who and the official handbooks of the Marvel universes, all those heights are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
got height and power structure and all
Oh
that
yeah,
other
yeah,
shit.
yeah. Yes,
it-
they
it
do.
all just
Now I'm
doesn't say,
remembering.
you know.
Like there was a Marvel guidebook that like the Scorpion Man, wore the robotic Scorpion outfit.
Just
They,
Scorpion, yes.
yeah, they
The Scorpion Man.
Yeah.
Matt
Mr.
Guardian.
Scorpion,
That would be a Mega Man villain.
Very
right?
Yes,
formal
exactly.
of you. Mr. Scorpion, sir.
attorney at law.
Yeah.
He has a mechanical scorpion tail that he uses to bash things, but it never poisoned anything, or did it?
No, he had like rays and shit that came out the end.
Oh, rays.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Oh, it was acid.
Yeah,
Wasn't
whatever
it
they
or something
needed.
like that?
Yeah.
He had multiple stinger,
Yeah.
modules.
Like, hold on, I need to stop this fight. I gotta change my stinger.
Hold on, please wait. Hold on, Spider-Man. Could you just?
Could you stop wailing on my face for a minute?
All right. Anyway, that's nothing to do with your background. So why don't you
Yeah,
lay
no,
it on us?
Yeah, no, I was born in Brooklyn, raised in New Jersey, and I'm Italian. And God, yeah, I went to high school East. I was gonna
That's
say
so
it's
generic.
it's in Tom's River. Yeah, it all sounds right. Like there's nothing interesting about this background. Like I was born in Brooklyn, and then
It's all relevant though.
born in Brooklyn, moved to Arizona, moved back to Brooklyn, and then moved to New Jersey, and all because my father is he's a con man. So that's about it.
Cool.
Yeah, sold drugs, dealt in guns. So we moved around a lot, and I'm breezing over that. I'm like, anyway,
Some great
that's
stories
he's great.
about how he just like talks his way out of getting murdered.
yeah, he talks ways out of getting out of everything.
Like mob guys like once came to like kill him.
Yeah, and he
he,
wound up
like-
walking away with money.
Yeah, they ended up giving him money.
He stole money. My dad has one. He stole money from the mob at one point for something they had him do, and then my uncle, who at the time was a bookie, went to go like negotiate.
Pause point. This narrative is going on for so long. I now am convinced that you're not making a joke.
No,
Oh yeah, no, this is actually true.
I wasn't sure at first, but no, keep going.
No, there's no joke. I mean, it's just so he went to go like smooth over the situation and be like, listen, like he's a kid, yada yada yada. Don't fucking kill him. And then they wanted to see my dad, and my dad went in and fucking bullshitted them with something and came out with like another $3,000 or something like that. And then but that's his whole, like, he was in the army for a little bit. He went AWOL. And then his wife at the time was like, fuck you, and then called them to tell the army, like, where he was so they can come pick him up.
I'm so sick of this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Get him out of my...
Everybody's general opinion of him, by the way.
Army also sick of him?
Yeah, well, they must have been, because as they were taking him back, my dad again told them some story, and they just fucking let him go. They're like, you know what? We can't be bothered.
Not worth it.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it, and they got out of that. What else, man? He was... He went to Rikers for a bit at one point when I was a little older, and then he got out of that, and they wound up putting him in therapy. And I was like, "You're fucking going to like this is my whole." Like, I was like, I should be in. I don't understand. How
I should
you
get
got
free
to...
therapy for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I know, it was hilarious. And then he was like, because he was in there for a while, and he would call me every now and then from whatever, and then he would be like, "Yeah," he's like, "I'm getting out," and I was like, "Are you breaking out? Because I don't want this on the phone call." Like, let's clarify getting out there, pops. And then he. And then, but no, they wound up sending him to he had to go to like a doctor, like a therapist, every whatever. And then at one point he calls me, he's like, "Hey, yeah, she'd like to talk to you. You should come." I'm not fucking coming to your therapist. Talking to me, because I know he's sweet talked her into thinking that I'm the fucking reason. Like, I know, like, she has some, because everybody, like, every time I would go to see him at like a hospital he was in, because he's always addicted to something. But he was like, now he legitimately, he's so old at this point. Sorry, you asked me, and now this is, by the way, this is the first time I've ever talked about it on anything. So
hey, now.
Exclusive.
Yeah, exclusive. He's been in
This is your Mark Maron moment right here.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're not going to get me to cry, though.
We are the interviewers of a generation. I don't know if you guys knew this.
Yeah, he's been in like a hospital situation for like 5 years, like almost like a nursing home, but not really, because it's part of this thing in Brooklyn. But he's been there. He doesn't go anywhere, and that's where he stays. But when I go to visit him, they're like, "Oh my God, this is your father. He's so..." And I'm like, what
he's so charming.
Have you been feeding, like, telling them? And then I look like an asshole.
He's got all their jewelry now.
Why don't
but
you?
They all gave it to him.
Yeah, oh, exactly.
Like,
oh, dude,
he
was
great about it afterwards.
He was rooming with this one dude, and this guy was always like passing out, and I wanted to be like, dude, fucking stay awake as long as you can. Like, are you? Because like my dad was always in the room, and he's like, your father's great, and I'm like, he's robbing you.
Somehow the nurses have ended. He's ended up in their will. They're not ending up in his will.
Yeah, exactly. It's messed up.
It's funny because like you say you have an Italian background. Down here, these are all stories that like Jews have in their background, because down here was the Jewish mob.
Yeah.
Right.
So everybody knows somebody's grandfather.
It's still around.
It's still around. But they're not running numbers the way they were in the 50s.
The Italian mob's still around. Same thing.
Oh, yeah, but the Jewish mob here, it's completely different. They're much more organized. They're on city councils. It's this whole thing.
It's on city councils. It's just everyday business, and this is the Jewish mob. They've actually done it smarter than the Italians have done it.
We assimilate better.
If only we could combine efforts. Like, you guys got the nice buildings and the suits and the places you can work in, and we did construction.
Right. If only we weren't...
And waste management.
Yeah, exactly.
If only we weren't oil and water.
Somehow Italians still wound up...
Catholicism.
Yeah. Somehow Italians still wound up doing manual labor while stealing from people. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Come on, guys.
And you guys both grew up in Tom's River together. Did you play Little League? Because Tom's River for many years was famous for Little League.
Those
No,
motherfuckers.
but one of the kids on the team showed me his dick on a bus.
Nice.
Just flashed everybody in the back.
Were they were like those little kids, like, were they treated like celebrities around town? Did they get away with shit?
They did get away with stuff. Like, one of them, like, blatantly used to cheat off me in, like, for, like, vocab tests or whatever. And he didn't do it. He didn't make it, he didn't, like, try to hide it. Like, he would just do it. And the teacher knew. And I was just like, is this just what's going to happen?
I think they only got a couple years of it, though, right?
They did. No,
like
it was seventh grade, so 7th and 8th.
After, like, maybe a year or so after, nobody gave a shit anymore.
It's weirdly a very prominent joke in Clerks, the animated series. For some reason,
I fucking love that show.
Kevin Smith was fascinated with the idea.
They did name a street after him. They like renamed a street.
Yeah, Little League
World Champion Boulevard.
Yeah.
Oh,
which is hilarious, because when you think about like Little League World Championship, all they did was beat a bunch of foreign kids at a sport they only heard about that year.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's their fucking claim.
Yeah.
Like, these poor Japanese kids came to America and like got their asses handed to them by some fucking Guido. You know, like, and that's it. That's your claim to fame. And then they just did that ESPN like 20-year revival. This is how much. One of my friends posted. I've been on. So this is fucking me just jacking myself off here for a second.
Into the ceiling fan, please.
Yeah, into the ceiling fan. But I've been on. Not anything like huge, but I've been on TV like 6 times or whatever. I've had like pieces written about me in the
Keep that
Times.
number
Well, you were in
gotta-
great-
don't drop a
Like
specific
newspaper
number. A
shit.
bunch.
Yeah, a bunch of TVs, like newspapers, like New York Times, whatever. All this other crap. My friend, don't say shit. One of them, like these dudes go on ESPN. Like two of them don't even fuck it. They never picked up a baseball bat again in their entire
Yeah, they're all
lives.
done.
And they're like, I remember. Oh my god, they're like celebrities. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm the like, and I introduced this girl to her husband. You know what I mean?
That's-
Like who she eventually married.
That's 'cause
I'm
it's
like,
a memory of when she was happy last. She doesn't want to remember what's happening now.
I
That's
remember
true.
the late 90s.
Yeah.
They were great.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Full House.
she's like, yeah, like, oh my god, like I thought you guys are celebrities. I'm like, I'm the fucking closest thing you're gonna cut. I'm not even
Yeah.
famous. Like, it's just hilarious to me that like no matter what stand-ups do, like no one gives a fuck. But these dudes picked up a ball once, and you know, when they were like 9.
That's America. That's America.
I mean, this is nowhere near on your level, but in terms of podcasts and local podcasts, we're pretty up there. And
Yeah.
no one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
No one
I know.
fucking cares. I'm
You
like,
know why? Because it's talking, and no one thinks
No, that's-
talking
yeah.
is like
Well,
we
I can
know
do that.
No, I'm
Yeah.
a white guy with an opinion. I can get a microphone and talk into it.
It's the most important thing happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah, people just think you're fucking lucky. Like no one understands that it's partly magic.
It's partly magic, but it's also mostly hard work and repetition and
Yeah.
just over and over and over. And we've been doing it for 5.5 years, and just in the last year, I think we've really hit a stride that is somewhat unprecedented. But no one cares.
We just got listenable.
Just right now,
think
just
that's a
this
fair statement.
moment when you started talking about your mob dad.
Awesome.
You know what's really fucked up
Here's
is
our
if
history.
is if people come to their door like they're like, we need to fucking kill you all. This is our idiot cousin.
Excuse me.
Nah, that's
You
great.
didn't name any names.
I didn't name any names. No, I would never name any names.
No.
So how long have you guys been doing stand up then? I mean, how long does it when was the first time you were like, "Oh, I think I'm good at this. I think I can do this."
What time is it?
Yeah.
Last night at around. I've been doing it for 13 years.
I've only been doing it for a few years, but my brother's a stand-up also. But I lived with John for like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
A couple years back, and while we were roommates, I would go to see his shows all the time, and he just kept being. Oh, sorry. Got to keep
You're
the mic
good.
closer. God damn it. He would just be like pushing me to go do shows and stuff with him. So I just went with him a couple times, and after
Yeah.
that, I enjoyed it. I got to do more.
He's
on the
funny.
side thing. I don't think I'm as passionate about it as John is. I like writing a lot more. So
He's a great writer.
I'll write stuff with him, help him punch up his jokes a lot more.
Well, so
I'll run stuff by him too.
you both write. I mean, you're writing jokes for other people. John,
Yeah.
you write jokes. How hard is it to get into somebody else's voice? What's the difference between writing a joke for someone else and writing a joke for yourself?
It does get when I first started doing it, it took me a little bit to get it because I would get annoyed because I would write like we would get these packets, like it would basically like when they go on like all these talk shows and stuff or like political shows or VH1. VH1 was the first one I wrote for when they do the I love the whatever like
decade.
series. My first one that I ever did was I love the 90s R&B, which just to look at me, that's
no,
not exactly an R, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, exactly. So it was fun, but
I mean, you were wearing cross colors.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
a
I know,
Koofy
now,
hat and Kangles. And,
Totally.
I guess.
Yeah, I love that
Throw
nobody.
them under the
This is one of the
bus.
few podcasts that they don't film you, so you don't actually. I didn't know. I didn't have to.
We're not.
could've
You know
just
what?
worn a
We would
robe
love
and
to
a-
do that, but I.
I kind of
Fuck
like that
it.
you don't. I gotta
Yeah.
be honest.
That's
We'll
actually,
get
there's
there.
no pressure.
We'll get there.
You get, but I mean, it's nice to have just a radio show.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
need people judging my living
We
room.
don't
I'm
need
sure
that.
Evan feels the
Right.
same way.
That's exactly how I feel about
Yeah.
it.
Like my cat tears my couch to
You don't
shit.
even have to say it's a living room. Just fucking keep calling it the studio.
That's right.
Why call it
Yeah.
Studio
This
B?
is the studio right
Studio-
now.
Yeah.
It's the pool house.
There's
Even
cats
later.
always coming in the studio.
Yeah.
they
But
don't
yeah.
have to know that we mean cats.
Right, yeah, yeah, but it was in the beginning. It was a little difficult because I would submit jokes that I would like, and he'd be like, "It's funny, but can you do it a little bit?" Like it really had to tailor to whoever I was writing for at the time. So it's different, but you get the hang of it, like anything else.
Who is your? I mean, who are your favorite comics? And even
Right now, Bill Burr is one of my
Bill Burr's
favorite
great.
fucking comics.
Bill Burr's solid.
He's like, I think he's like one of the best comics traveling around.
I loved him on Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, yeah.
From Breaking Bad, and do you guys watch Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
I think comedians end up doing great at dramatic roles.
I've listened to a million other podcasts where comedians talk about how they wind up being better actors because it's harder to be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing than it is to do a lot of other stuff.
And they also all have dark pasts and shit they
Yes.
gotta deal with, so they're all
A lot of pain, a lot of
all
pain.
ready to do the emotional shit.
Yeah. Whoever, one of the guys, I think it was the casting, I don't know, I should know the name of the casting director on Breaking Bad, but they really wanted it, like, they broke a lot of comedians, like, for their first act. Like, that was
Yeah.
Bill Burr's first acting role.
Yeah.
So
And
good in it, too.
yeah, and he was like, and I remember, I think it was him talking about it. But she got whoever the casting director was got a lot of comics to come on and do that, and they were like grateful for it.
But I think that the other guy, the huge bald black dude, is also a
Yeah.
comic.
Huey? Right, yeah. Is that
Lavelle?
I can't remember.
When I watch my
Lavelle Crawford?
reruns of
He's a
Comic
He's a
View,
comic too, and if I try to guess names, it's going to be
yeah,
awful.
it's,
So,
yeah,
it's not gonna work out.
I know.
But
I
he's really funny dude too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I can't take part. I've never seen Breaking Bad or Better
Ooh.
Call Saul.
This is why Brian is a
Stop the
total loser.
podcast.
Yes.
I was
on
very anti-prestige dramas for a few years.
I could see that. I could see that.
And Breaking Bad hit right smack dab in the middle.
He prefers to watch
You get enough
rerun.
people telling you got to watch this, and it just makes you.
Don't tell me what to do.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, kind of, but it's like, look, man, I watched Sopranos, I watched Deadwood, like
Yeah.
I was.
I never watched Sopranos.
Well, see, there you go. Like it's like
I want
I'm like-
somebody-
Deadwood was awesome.
After a while, I was just tired of television
Oh, you
that made me
watched
feel
it?
bad.
I should have.
Deadwood was good.
Deadwood's great.
Deadwood
Yeah,
started
I
to
should- I
really.
like that.
That's a show. I wouldn't even recommend going over and watching The Sopranos again, but like
Yeah.
Deadwood's
Deadwood.
fucking awesome.
Yeah, Sopranos. I feel like you can dip in and out on episodes. Just
Yeah.
because-
I saw the finale.
Oh, then you know everything.
That's what I figured,
Right.
right? I didn't feel like I missed anything.
No,
I was like,
no.
it's a mob show.
There
Bunch of
isn't
mob stuff.
a,
Somebody might get killed.
You get it.
the best part of this. I'm a weirdo when it comes to Sopranos because I love the whole Johnny Flatcakes or
Oh, yeah.
where the one so there's this diversion that has nothing to do with anything where this one big fat Italian mobster is found out to be gay. And he just runs away and like has like a romance novel with some big burly bear of a like construction worker in the middle of New Hampshire. And he's like, "I love you, Johnny Flapjacks." And it's like, all right, if that's what this show is now,
Yeah.
I'm on board. And then it's
pretty good.
Yeah, Breaking Bad, I just never got to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you prefer to watch reruns of Frasier than.
Yeah,
There's
or
nothing wrong with that.
or Star Trek episodes that I've seen a billion times.
How many times have you rewatched
Trek?
all of Boy Meets World?
3 or 4.
I don't know if I've rewatched it maybe once.
It's
The
excellent.
Halloween one, I think,
Yeah.
is the one that stands out to me
Well,
as the most memorable.
And see, I'm such a nerd that I would tell you that that's not a Halloween episode. It takes place. It happens in February, the
You're
week
right.
after the Valentine's episode.
You're
where
right.
Corey
It's-
and Topanga break up.
it's
I
Yeah.
a
love that
breakup
friggin'
episode,
show.
but it feels like a Halloween
And
episode.
Which
then
one
there
was
was
the one with the
Sean.
crossover with Sabrina the Teenage Witch? That was a Halloween one too, right? It was like a fucking
That is the Witches of Pembroke, where Eric Matthews falls
Right.
in love with the new
the new girl who
Which is Candace Cameron.
Okay,
and she's a witch. And then
Right.
Sabrina shows up at the end.
I don't think real life Candace Cameron would appreciate being referred to as a witch.
It was an interesting time
right.
because I guess she just wasn't Christian enough to care at that point.
Yeah.
her brother didn't get to her yet. Candace Cameron's
Kirk
Kirk Cameron's
Cameron's-
sister.
The Kirk
She's
Hooks.
also Christian.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So-
they're very
I,
Christian.
So
She
we
was
were
on a
talking
TV
religious
show.
stuff before. I grew up as Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
which
fun.
Is,
What?
yeah, very fun, very cool.
So, do you not have a birthday?
I mean, I was born. Have a day.
My understanding is that Jehovah's Witnesses do not celebrate birthdays.
When I grew up, I didn't celebrate it.
Right.
I started celebrating around 18.
Okay.
I stopped being a witness probably. I started thinking about stop being a witness at 12. You can't really not go to church with your parents. At
Yeah,
that age.
yeah.
But that's good for them because they need to keep those numbers down, right?
Yeah.
Because there's only a set number of people
Well,
getting to
no.
heaven.
So what they have is there's a set number of people who are going to heaven, but everybody else just gets the party on earth. That's the deal.
Oh, okay.
So most of the people who are going to heaven,
They're not
are
gonna,
supposed
like-
to be already dead, but that number actually keeps ticking up every year, which
Oh.
is really suspicious.
Just like the deficit.
yeah.
So how does
Yeah.
growing up a Jehovah's Witness? How does that affect the way you do comedy? Like, is it? I mean,
I
do you
think-
come at it from a different perspective?
Yeah, well, I think I started off being. There's a lot more tactics. 'Cause it's basically a cult, so there's a lot more tactics to isolate you from people.
Okay.
That's the main. You'll see it in most religions in general, but it's emphasized more in that kind of thing. So you get a different set of language that you have different terminology you use.
Yeah.
So you can't talk to people as easily. You get told that these are bad influences and you should avoid them, so you don't do it. Anything that's not Christian is worldly, and you're supposed to avoid it. So I'm supposed to not have worldly friends.
Yeah, we weren't allowed over.
That
Yeah, I
sucks.
wasn't allowed to have my friends over at my mom's house. Actually, I was for a little bit, but one of my friends looked at an Awake magazine and like left it on the ground by accident, and my mom was like, "Oh, that's disrespectful. They're not allowed over ever again."
Wow.
Yeah, it's very, very strict.
Oh, so there's like a step above the Watchtower. There's one.
There's the Watchtower and Awake magazines. There's the two. The Awake magazine is the less Christian-y one. That's like the one that's going to sneak you in because they do a lot of sciencey articles, and then they always end with, "Isn't God beautiful? Like look at what He made."
Wait, Jehovah's Witnesses are like they're up on evolution? Like they're like
No, they're not evolution.
Oh, okay.
So they'll still like they'll talk about how beautiful stuff is.
check out this butterfly coming out of the cocoon.
Look at what God made.
Gotcha.
And they'll talk about almost every other scientific thing pretty accurately. Like they're with the Big Bang, but they don't go with evolution, which is a weird line. Yeah, it's very frustrating.
So does it like
So much like Kirk Cameron, my half brother is a born again Christian.
Yeah,
and,
it's very similar.
I had some really frustrating conversations with him. I had to stay at his house for a week a long time ago. Just so happened to be a week a few days after my father died, and then I had to spend a week with this guy and spend the week with this guy as he's trying to subtly convert me. I will never forget sitting at breakfast one morning and his young son's putting together Legos, and he says to him, like, "What are you making over there, Jonathan?" And he says, "I'm building the Ark." And he's like, "Good luck with that. I'm just gonna need a lot more Legos."
you don't have 40 cubits worth of Legos.
But then the conversation, he basically offered this information to his son as if he was dispensing the most monumental pearl of wisdom-based information, and said, "Did you know that before the Great Flood, rain did not fall from the sky?"
Oh God, yeah, the water canopy.
Well, that's a different thing.
What?
For witnesses, the water canopy
Yes,
is a thing.
that's like a Babylonian thing where the whole world is surrounded by water, and when you
yeah.
turn a valve, like rain comes.
We had
But
faucets.
they take that and they use that as their
As the
reason
Great
for
Flood.
why it didn't rain before. That's what caused the morning dew and stuff.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah,
That's
okay.
how water would get before rain.
But this young man, this little
Yeah.
boy, he says to him, like, "Well, where did it come from then?" And he said, "I don't know."
As a Jew, I just sit here thinking, do you people not know what allegory is? What
Right.
No, they take it so fucking literal.
Yeah.
And they love to pretend that they're more witnesses like to pretend they're more Christian than other Christians in that they're going back to the roots of Christianity.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just after Judaism. Like that's when they started.
No. They have to believe like in Judaism stuff if they really want to.
Oh
be,
yeah, I know a lot. Actually, I got mistaken for Jewish a lot as a kid, so I have a lot of sympathy for Jewish people.
Last name
'cause
like
I didn't
Metzger? Come on.
right, and I didn't celebrate any holidays, so that was the assumption.
My
That's what
uncle's a
kids-
born again Christian, and it was frustrating talking to him recently because he just wound up in the hospital. And he had like a heart thing. He had like a stent put in, like a blockage. So he's sitting in the hospital. I'm talking to him, and he goes to me, "Yeah, by the grace of God, I got an early warning, and I got to stop eating." I'm like, "Early? I've been fucking telling you to stop eating." Early warning my ass, the whole
John,
family.
John,
I'm like,
you're not
"You
from
out of
God."
No, I know. I'm like, hey, I don't think like 8 plates of fucking pasta and ziti and meatballs
Oh,
is good.
so good.
Like my father is a great cook, but the reason why his meatballs always tasted so good was because he would literally take the fat from the meat and pour it into the sauce.
Yes.
Like, and then, which is amazing.
He
But
can come over for dinner
you're
anytime.
eating.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You're
I need a
eating.
pillow
You
to
can
put over my
literally-
boner.
Yeah, you literally feel your heart slowing down as you're taking a second plate because you can't stop.
But I love it when like medical technology will save a person of religiousness and saves their life.
Yeah.
Or a pilot will land a plane that almost explodes, and then they say it's a miracle.
Here's the thing, my uncle,
God.
my uncle became a born again Christian. He wasn't like that his entire life. So he was my dad's entire family. There's 9 kids, and I forget how many brothers, maybe like 5 brothers, 4 sisters, some of that. And so my uncle, this particular one who became a born again, he wound up robbing a cab driver at gunpoint when he was a kid. Went to jail, broke out of jail, and then fled to Hawaii. Now here's the thing.
How do you flee to Hawaii?
He
didn't think that it was a state. I don't like.
I don't know, but he escaped because him and his buddy escaped. So when he tells the story, it's actually hilarious. He's one of my favorite people because he's a really good dude. But he does this. This is all when he was younger in his like teens and shit in his 20s. So he breaks out of jail and he's like, we wound up getting out, we're running and the sirens are going off, and he's like, and the fucking music was blasting, and I'm like, Lou, what music? He's like, in my head, because he's like, it's hilarious. So anyway, he gets out, he goes to Hawaii.
The horns of Gabriel, aren't you paying
I know,
attention?
exactly. I was like, what the fuck?
He's Mormon. He's not.
like, now I'm like, jail cell. What music could they possibly have been playing to pump up these guards to catch these criminals? So, but he goes and he goes with his buddy, and they wound wound up knowing somebody, and they get out and they go to Hawaii, and they're hiding out. For whatever reason in Hawaii, because it was like 1950 something,
right.
and no one gave a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, it's back in the day where you could literally throw like a dummy off a bridge
They
and
hadn't
be like, I'm
invented
dead. That's it.
The body was
Yeah, me
never
too.
found.
That's great. Going off the grid, literally, all you had to do was just burn your car.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, this
There's
case
no
is
body in there, but
Yeah.
I don't think he made it.
The
I don't
cops are
think it's
too-
worth investigating. Let's move on.
Exactly, yeah.
Let's just call this over.
Case
This
closed.
guy clearly wanted to take a break. So
He's put in so much work. Let's just let him do it.
so he's in Hawaii. He finds God somehow, right? Of course, that's where if I were God, though,
I
I'd be
mean,
in Hawaii
Hawaii.
too. Yeah, on a beach. It was just a
You're
dude
gonna find him.
who stopped shaving. Monica was
Well,
like,
if God lives in
"Jesus."
Hawaii, he's pretty pissed off right now because we got a volcano and a hurricane simultaneously.
Right.
Yeah, Hawaii
Well, he's
got
moved
nailed
since
this
then.
year.
He's not mad. He doesn't have any. He has real estate there, but he's gone.
Where did he go?
He probably went. I'm gonna say New
Ibiza?
Zealand.
New Zealand.
Yeah, that's where all the
Seems
Americans
sweet.
are going.
Yeah. All the richy.
Yeah,
Rich.
I know. Well,
what am I
fucking-
talking about?
I think like Nick Cage or somebody has like I don't know, like I don't know how many acres of land in fucking New Zealand. Like it's crazy.
He calls it his fortress of solitude. I don't know, but he's a big Superman fan.
Yeah, he
It's
is.
a safe
He is.
bet.
It's a sore
It's
subject with
Kal-El,
him.
right?
Yeah.
He just has to make another 25 National Treasure films until he can pay off his
not
tax
the third
bill.
one?
And
I just read an article. John Turteltaub, the director of National Treasure, he just says that like Disney doesn't need it. They got Star Wars. Like,
Oh,
they have
oh,
no,
yeah.
they just don't need it. Yeah,
that
Nick
sucks.
Cage needs it.
right.
I need it.
America needs it.
National Treasure.
What would the plot be of the third one though?
This is perfect because before we were doing the show, we were like, we got to come up with some games, and we love to make up movies on this show, usually starring
love
Katherine Heigl and Tay Diggs.
Right? I can
But
respect
since this is a national treasure,
They made another one. It's called Rogue One.
Rogue One. Oh, yeah. Okay, but we
I was on board, Casey. I got it.
we palette swapped the plot line of Rogue One and put it in America, starring Nick Cage, Katherine Heigl, and Tay Diggs.
It's the haunted plans to the Watergate Hotel.
Ooh, haunted
That's
Planet.
great.
That's great.
Richard Nixon's ghost is haunting the hallways. We need to figure out what he's trying to tell us.
It should be National Treasure, but they try to find Trump's tax returns, and that's
Yes.
it.
But also simultaneously, the B storyline is putting us back on the gold standard.
I really like a Nixon backstory. That's great. Like a ghost Nixon.
Like so.
He had some secret
so
treasures.
Sequel to Frost Nixon, Ghost
Like
Nixon.
something that Nixon like stole from some other country or something.
It wasn't that Nixon is a thief. It's that he's covering up an actual theft.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, really, Richard Nixon is our greatest hero. You know, everyone's talking about how the fact that he beat up Pat this week, but
And because Katherine Heigl and Tay Diggs are from the Jury Duty series of movies
it's a
that we've
crossover?
invented, it's a crossover, and they're the legal eagles that absolve Richard Nixon's name and make him America's
there's legal
greatest
counsel,
hero.
right?
yes.
Oh, that's great.
So I find that you can pretty much stick Katherine Heigl and Tay Diggs into any romantic comedy. And
Okay.
it's always going to work, and one of them's delightful, and the other's Katherine Heigl.
Fired.
Always
Ouch.
going to work.
Yeah.
You're always going to enjoy yourself. Our main series is the Jury Duty films.
Yes.
Which they are either falling in love while being sequestered on a jury or being fighting as jury consultants.
Sequestered
afterwards.
love.
Is this sequel
Because
to
this-
the Pauly Shore one?
No.
We
It's a
forgot
Pauly
about
Shore
it when we
Jury
came
Duty
up with
movie?
it.
Yeah, Jury Duty.
Yes, with Tia Carrera, and
I missed that one.
He's trying to game the jury duty system as long as he can, so he can
Yeah.
stay in this swanky hotel.
They're paying him less than minimum wage, and it's more than he's making.
Yeah, and he gets to nail Tia Carrera. In the
I have a feeling
first
people
movie.
avoided that
That's right,
movie the
Career.
same way they try to avoid actual jury duty.
Right.
Like they were like, I'm not going to that movie either.
It's not as good as Encino Man, but it's
No.
better than In the Army
Encino
Now.
Man is great.
That's his best film.
I saw that movie in the theater with a friend of mine, and I came out and I was like, I don't like that movie very much. He says, "You have no taste."
What are your favorite comedy movies? Like what? I mean, I don't know what kind
That's
of.
broad.
Yeah, I know.
I like a lot
Yeah.
of movies. We're movie nerds.
And I know exactly.
Hardcore.
I'm trying to think of like
Well, I grew up watching like Blazing Saddles and
Yeah.
stuff.
Blazing Saddles is great.
Yeah, Mel
Caddyshack.
Brooks, Caddyshack is
Yeah,
amazing.
I mean all the classics, obviously.
How do you guys feel about
That's-
Fletch?
My first,
I like. I like
Oh
Fletch.
yeah, Fletch is good.
Fletch is
My
a good
first comedy movie when I was a kid that I got on VHS was City Slickers.
Oh, very
Yeah,
good.
and I was like 12, which is
City
just
Slickers is
how my taste in comedy was.
Yeah, that's one of my.
12-year-old
favorites,
with a VHS.
Well,
of
you
City
because you
Slickers.
weren't buying VHS, like your dad
Yeah.
would just bring them home randomly.
Yeah.
We'd
Like-
rent movies all the time,
Yeah.
or watch them on like terrible TV
Right.
channels with like plenty of commercials and everything censored.
My favorite comedy movie growing up, and possibly of all time, is UHF, starring Weird Al Yankovic.
UHF is so good.
Michael Richards,
Yeah.
Fran. or what's her name? Hold on, Fran Drescher. Yeah, it's like an
The
all-star
nanny?
cast, and the jokes in the movie are hysterically funny. A lot of them are just visual. All
Conan the Librarian?
Yes, Conan the Librarian. I don't know why they never made a sequel about like basic cable or something like that.
Because I bet
great.
you it made $50 in the
I
theater.
also,
And you know
Weird Al,
why?
that was like peak Weird Al.
It was
wasn't
peak Weird Al, but they made the mistake of releasing the movie in the summer of 1989. Another little movie called Batman was released that summer, so it got decimated.
versus Batman. That's tough. One of my favorite movies when I was a kid was Mars Attacks.
Yeah, we were
Favorite
just talking
comedies.
about Mars
It's one of
Attacks
my
earlier.
favorite. It's the most plausible alien invasion movie to me, just because the aliens are dicks.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's really relatable.
These and again, very well organized aliens. Like it's
Yeah.
all like they're ready to go. They were winning right up until they discovered that yodeling record.
Right.
Yeah.
Do not run. We are your friends. Like, I just love that they're sarcastic assholes about the whole thing.
They're just dicks about it.
Well, they're
yeah, we'll make peace.
no. No, I loved it because the technology, they had such advanced technology that they're like, we're just going to fuck with these guys and murder them simultaneously, turn them into green skeletons.
When they're lining up the machine behind the old lady in the nursing home, like this giant death ray, like a few
That's so
inches
good.
away from her skull, and they're just like cackling as they do it.
they enjoy their work. The
exactly.
Martians,
Yeah.
They're really
Mars Attacks.
they're really sympathetic aliens.
Have you guys seen like the trading cards? Were you those kind of nerds?
I saw
growing
them.
up?
I didn't know about them until after the movie.
Gotcha,
I
yeah.
wasn't that into them.
I have a basement full of comic books. I have a whole bunch of like
Yeah.
the
Ditto.
Mars Attacks tie-in comics down there. They are weird.
Yeah.
Right, they get real dark, right?
Yeah, really dark. Like, oh, that's not what this movie is, but you are taking it in strange places.
Yeah.
Like, there's like alien human concubines. They're
Oh, right. They get really graphic.
They knew no one was buying them.
Right,
You know
it's
what I mean? They were
it's
like,
the only
put it
people who
wherever
are
we
going to
want
buy
them.
them are going to buy a shit ton. of
Yeah,
them.
exactly. And the trading cards were fucking weird too.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They made the skeletons. I found this out red and green because
Yeah.
it was released on Christmas or something, or around Christmas.
Was it?
hilarious.
that's the Christmas tie-in.
I remember them being orange and green,
It's
but
like a pink.
yeah,
neon
yeah.
pink, but it's like a reddish hue.
Fucking Tim
That's
Burton.
what somebody's telling me. I don't know if that's bullshit or not, but I like to think
I,
that it's true.
I think that was our Mad Mad World. That was every famous person.
well,
who was
yeah.
on
There's a ton
a
in
comedian. Yeah, Danny DeVito,
not
Michael
one
J.
role for
Fox.
Jack Nicholson, but two roles
Yeah.
for Jack
Danny
Nicholson.
DeVito in there.
Yeah, Martin
and I also
Short.
think it's important to mention that Rat Race was our.
yeah.
It's a mad
no, I was supposed to be, but it wasn't. When you had that dude
Yeah.
from Garfield in there, fuck that guy. What's his name?
Jim Davis? Or
No, no,
The guy who
no.
plays Jim Davis.
Breckenmeyer.
Yeah, Breckenmeyer.
Oh yes.
That's not a comedian.
Oh really? So
I don't
here's
like-
a question.
not a
There is
Breckenmeyer.
like
The guy
a
from Road
whole-
Trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he's good in that.
I
was
feel like
alright.
he
Alright.
writes Robot
Alright.
Chicken, or he's definitely
He does some good voice work.
He does that kind of stuff really well. I don't buy him as an actor.
I would say that it was. I think Robot Chicken's more Seth Green than
It is,
Breckenmeyer.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually that guy Seinrich, I think. I think
Yeah.
Seth Green shows up to do his lines and
Yeah, and does
takes
a
walk.
Chris Griffin
I don't
impression
know,
and
I
walks
think-
away with a giant check.
Yeah,
you
right.
blame him?
Are you guys into like the Family Guy, like that kind
Family
of?
Guy. I think
Family Guy,
of,
Simpsons.
Of Seth MacFarlane stuff. I think I like American Dad the best.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I feel
Yes.
like it's like just like
It's
the
really
cleanest
smart,
of
yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
It does it so well.
The jokes are fucking hysterical. I mean, there's not a single episode of that show
Yeah.
that I don't laugh at least 6 times.
Yeah, there's
I
such
can go
weird
through
little things that are great.
Yeah, like super creative jokes.
Yeah.
I love the fact that Patrick Stewart is just like
Yeah.
a lunatic on that show.
We saw Seth MacFarlane do his lounge act at like the
Yeah.
Symphony Hall down here, and it was excellent. I'm like a fan of his.
Yeah, he's
got
a
good
talented
singing
guy.
voice.
How do you guys feel about the Orville? Because
I haven't watched it. I'm
haven't seen
actually
it.
meaning to. I'm a Star Trek fan.
Yeah, it's
And-
great.
It's not. Is it canceled?
No,
And the Orville actually got me into Star Trek. I never watched
Oh,
a single
yeah?
episode of Star Trek.
Yeah.
And I got finished season 1. I was like, I need more.
No, I had
So
heard it was like it was okay in the first couple episodes. It goes better, right?
Yeah.
It's not like
It's
it
never
stays-
something that you're gonna hate watching.
Yeah.
but it's sometimes like, oh, that wasn't.
It's
so
just
great.
it's just Galaxy Quest, right? But
Yeah.
a little edgier. Yeah,
Are you guys Paul Scheer fans? Are you looking forward to the Galaxy Quest TV show?
I am.
That's gonna be very cool.
I hope it's good.
Yeah.
I
love Galaxy
I love
Quest.
Galaxy Quest, so I'm like paranoid of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But-
my goal for this show and for the rest of you is to get to the level of success where I can be, or any of you can be on an episode of How Did This Get Made? 'cause
Oh, that'd be fun.
I fucking love that show.
It's such a great show.
Yeah.
All right, we have talked about our backgrounds. We have talked about movies. We've talked about everything else, and now it is time to play a game.
Sweet.
It's time to play. Would you rather? Casey, I'm going to give you the mic, or you're going to get the mic from Brian, and you're going to deliver us this week's Would You Rather from the CTB Fam Zone Extreme. Find it on Facebook today and join it because it's a lot of fun.
So would you rather come home every day and your dog has laid 3 diarrhea shits all over the house, or every time company is about to come over, your child just shits all over you?
So I forgot that the one aspect of the child was that it's when someone's about to come over.
Every time someone's just about to come over?
Yeah, like it's
You don't have any forewarning, right, though?
No, like
you forget it basically every time? Or?
Is this for all of us?
Yeah, everybody's gonna.
Here's how it works. You got to ask
have a
questions
child?
about both scenarios.
and if you don't have a dog or a child, bam, you magically have a child.
Yeah,
and a
you
dog.
fit it for the scenario.
Yes.
Disgusting.
So wait,
this is based on true events.
Dog lives.
Oh, God, really?
Do you have carpeting in
I've
your
had
house,
both.
or are we hardwood floors?
Whatever your current house situation is.
Well, okay.
It's hardwood, so diarrhea is not going to be that bad.
Well,
No.
I mean, this choice is going to influence me buying a new house to facilitate the choice.
yeah. Every time you come home,
So if you have
versus every
shag
time you
carpet,
see, frequency is going to be higher with the dog.
oh,
right?
for sure.
But
What's
okay,
3
so-
shits per
so-
day?
no.
Is that a minimum, or is that the number
So
of shits?
it's minimum once a day. So
Okay.
like you can't just be like, all right, nobody's fucking coming over. Somebody's coming over at least once a day,
Oh,
or
okay.
you're coming home once a day.
Okay,
You can't
they're
game
having the same
system.
frequency.
Yeah, you
then I
can't-
take the dog shits.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
but it's diarrhea. Like it's liquid. It's-
Diarrhea, dog shit.
Yeah,
Well,
I got, like I said, I got hardwood floors. That's.
I've got an answer.
I
And
don't
it's
want
terrible.
that shit on me. Yeah, go.
But I'm gonna take the dog only because when it's that serious with an animal, they're not gonna live that long. So I don't have to put up with it for that long.
That's a great question. A, does
don't
the
want-
dog live forever? B, does the child age? Is it going to be like a 30-year-old showing up to shit on the chest of his 65-year-old father? Because I'm on board for that.
It's
I'd like
funny.
to film it and
This is the
sell
most
it.
pro-choice argument I've
Yeah,
ever heard.
Evan, you need to be the arbiter of this because
Okay.
there was a little bit of argument about that situation. So since you didn't come up with it, so you get to make the rule there.
About the child aging?
Is the child aging?
Well, so it's the most important question because if it doesn't age, you're just taking care of an infant for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's horrible.
You don't. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have a fucking dog that doesn't age because you could just have a puppy that's diarrheaing everywhere.
Well, I will say.
Yeah,
I will say
That's a
that
great point.
after cleaning up both in the past like 2 weeks, the dog diarrhea is a lot worse.
Yeah.
Well, then you invest in a diarrhea Roomba.
Good
Title of the
wet
episode.
Wet back.
Do they have diarrhea Roombas specifically? That'd be pretty cool. That's great.
All right, so we've decided that the child ages because it's funnier to think of
It's
a
much
30-year-old.
funnier, yeah. Like you can have moments where, Dad, I'm getting engaged.
Oh, the child's always shitting, right?
Yeah.
Like it's aging, but it's always shitting and never
Yeah.
leaving your house.
I like the idea that the diarrhea Roomba is just it's just a Roomba, but it cries as it's cleaning up. It just weeping.
Diarrhoomba?
Diarrhoomba, yeah.
Diarrhoomba. Oh, that's the title.
But yeah, but
Of this
I got
episode.
into Yale. Like that's what I want.
Does
in
the
my
child poop his pants, or does...
Is the child poop diarrhea?
Ooh.
No.
No, it's not. Casey
is
says
it
no.
buried every time?
Oh, the child's poop's not diarrhia. It just poops every time someone's coming
That
over.
might be easier.
Oh, then that's fine.
Is it always the same kind of?
But it's a blowout. It's
What?
so Casey has an
have to
infant
change
at
your
home
clothes every time.
along with an
Sure.
aging dog. So it's a blowout every time. Like
Yeah.
it's the kind of
What?
it's the kind of shit where you got to like wash the baby's hair
Why
because
you
it
not
somehow got all the way up there.
Why aren't you just wearing a bathing suit at all times? And like,
Yeah, I guess you could advise
have
the
like
child.
a slip and slide right into a vat of rubbing alcohol.
Listen,
It's your house is going to smell. I should know. One of my sisters was a bedwetter.
Do you love one more than the
house
other?
Smells.
Like, do I love the dog more than the kid, or the kid more? Because
Great
I wanna,
question.
Yeah, because I would get rid of the dog.
Well, here-
I'd
You
let it
can't
do it.
just get rid of the dog or the child. Like
In
there-
either
you
scenario,
can't-
you're not getting rid of anything.
You are stuck with this situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take the dog. To be
Yeah,
honest.
still gonna go dog
Are you allowed to leave the kid in a car overnight?
with the windows up.
You can, but then you'll be arrested and incarcerated for the rest of your life.
and then you'll have a dog in
it's
your
like
prison
clean
cell.
Oz
Shit,
kind
though.
of jail.
It only shits that one last time. I'm still going with the kid, I think.
As I said in the fam zone, I would go with a dog if it's a teacup poodle in a very large house with marble floors.
That's very precise.
Tiny diarrheas to clean up. You just get a little
Like little rabbit poops.
Right.
Yeah,
Nice size,
like
yeah.
tiny diarrheas.
Right. Instead of a dog, can I have a
Little
rabbit?
pancakes.
No, these are
please just-
diarrheas.
Right, before they're cooked.
Oh, batter. Yeah, doo-doo batter. God,
Sorry,
if I could tell the child, like, hey, look, we know that the cosmos is deeming that this is going to happen every time you come over. So please just wear a diaper. And I mean, obviously, when it's a toddler, they can't help that. They can't make a rational decision. Is the child unaware that this is a condition, like just forever, in perpetuity?
I mean, you'll figure it out eventually. but
Okay.
I like the idea that the
I will
kid
say this: that
has no clue.
I was under the
everybody-
impression this was a Groundhog Day situation where you forgot and the kid forgot, and every day you woke up
Yeah.
with having to have people over and the kid.
See, but that's an excellent addition to the layer cake that is this. Would you rather?
Honey, the boss is coming.
Damn it, Billy! Not again. Oh wait, I don't remember the last time this happened. So this is the first time this
But this
happened.
is an amazing-
But the rest of the world is aware that this is going on. They're like, every fucking time we go over there.
This is an amazing sitcom, though. I mean, like,
Starring Katherine Heigl.
You got to do a normal show, but always have that in every episode.
it's
and not
Johnny
address
Poops'
it.
pants. Oops, I did it again. And like catchphrase is right there. So I think the answer is the kid. The kid.
You think that's the answer?
I will say that everybody that I'm aware of in the fam zone that has children picks the children.
That's so weird.
I think they're used to cleaning up baby poop.
Yeah, they just love it. They
Dude,
It's
it took me
addictive.
3 hours to clean up after my dog.
I like dogs more than I like kids. So I feel like I would feel less bad about, like,
This
I
is
wouldn't
a-
be as angry at the dog as I might get.
No, you're probably right.
Here's a question:
That's just me.
Is everyone picturing the child as a masculine child? Because I that's the way I've been picturing it the whole time.
2018, the child doesn't have a gender yet, so
I was just thinking
you
great
get on
moms.
board with.
Just like the genderless aliens in Trek.
Oh yes, right. It's just
The
this
androgynous one.
this strange hermaphrodite is just
Yeah.
going to the other all over me.
Yeah,
'Cause that-
I think
that
I'd be
thing's
far less
weird.
comfortable with having a like a hot blonde daughter like crapping on me as an adult. Like that would be weird.
I guess you might as well get something out of it.
Oh. God damn! Yeah, that was.
Real dark, real fast.
Oh, love it.
I just started thinking about Trump and Ivanka, and then I was like,
Right. It's just weird that the idea of like my own grown son like shitting on my chest is much more easier to like.
What if it
"Turn
turns
get
out
to the chest. Like, why is he on you?"
Brian,
holding the child,
Right.
and then somebody's.
But he
coming.
said grown.
Well,
Yeah,
but
but the child's growing up, but it always shits on you.
eventually he's just gonna be
You're
a
not gonna
30-year-old
hold an
like
18-year-old.
Like, oh, Dad,
Groundhog Day, John.
yeah, it's like, oh, Dad, I heard you had someone coming over. Guess I better shit all over you. You know, like
That'd be hilarious if he was like, it was like a.
how's the wife and kids, son? They're fine, Dad. If you could just move just a little.
I feel like no one's addressing the obvious abuse situation where the kid is now. I feel like he's holding down
Yeah.
the dad.
Yeah.
To do it. Like, gotta shit,
There's
pop.
some elder abuse.
open wide.
I have a question for this. So, is it every time someone comes over in the same day, or could it be like you set up someone to come over so they get the pooping
get it
done
out of the
with,
way?
and then you can have a normal
Wow.
day?
A decoy.
A poop nurse.
It's every time. But I suppose if you wanted to like arrange a like 10 o'clock visitor that's like really close to you and then get it out of the way, I
feel like he
I
just
guess.
wants us to
Yeah, you just have your wacky
No, I
neighbor
think that's
show
what's
up.
going on right now.
I think he wants us to feel it too.
Yeah. How many times has it happened to you?
Oh, often. It's happening often. You can't even answer the
Poor,
question.
poor man.
Oh boy. All right.
I don't know.
Everyone must make their selection now, and Casey,
Dog.
once that is done, you will deliver the rewards.
I choose the child. The child.
I choose the child.
Evan?
I choose dog because I'm going
dog?
teacup, marble floor, ample square footage.
Okay.
I'm doing dog because the dog's got to die.
Yeah, I'm going dog also.
All right. So if you.
Is it an immortal dog?
Yeah, that's for. It lives as long as you do. I mean, I feel like.
I'm still going dog.
Yeah, still going
So
dog.
if you picked a dog, you get 4 cats that eat the dog.
Ooh, what?
Oh.
Problem
have
solved.
five
No,
That's
not
already.
the dog. The dog's excrement. So like they
Eats the cat. The cat eats the dog diarrhea.
They
I don't
eat
even
poop.
need a
They'll eat
Diarrhoomba.
vomit, but
Whatever.
they won't eat poop.
Now I wish you did have this recorded because you could see my face right now. I was like,
What do you mean you get 4 cats?
That's the prize. If you selected the
Oh,
dog,
you
this is what
also
you
get 4 cats that
yes,
eat its
now,
shit.
now you get 4 cats.
I'm not eating their shit. So I
Do
don't
they
make
eat their
out with
own
cats,
shit
so
or the
that
dog
sounds-
shit?
The dog shit.
Sweet.
Do I
And
still have
then-
to clean their litter boxes, or do they eat their own shit
Wait,
too?
so they eat dog
You
shit
still have
and
to
then
clean
they
up the litter
shit?
box.
Okay, I mean, I got a bunch of cats already, so
And-
that's fine.
Put too much thought into it.
No, I was not.
He's
prepared
not
for this
very
part.
good at ad-libbing.
And then the if you pick the child, you get a lifetime supply of Depends.
All right.
But that's
I'll
for
take it. I
adults. That doesn't work on the child.
Diapers. Just diapers. Like diapers. Magical diapers that fit whoever's wearing them. There you go.
Ooh.
Perfect.
You get a lifetime supply of diapers, but no baby wipes.
Oh.
It's fine. You can just use TP.
Just use a hose.
So much poop talk.
Yeah. It's more
I like-
poop talk than we usually do.
I like dogs, but I'm not a dog. Like I never want to own one, and I've never wanted a kid. And now I didn't think it was possible to want either one, either like less. than I do. But now I'm just like never, like never. Like,
Because
it was a-
unfortunately, these are like the realities of having a child. This is going to happen to you eventually.
sure, but
Like,
not like
weekly.
when everybody comes over.
Don't have my advice. Don't have a dog because you do not have a biological disposition to like the dog. So when it just you come home and there's just shit everywhere, you just want to strangle it. But at least, with
But
your
I did not do that. I did not do that.
But you're your child. Yeah, dude, they're cute. So
Yeah.
you
Get
don't
some
kill
chemicals. That
It looks
convince
like
you
you.
that it's the right thing to do.
Yes.
It's parenting, right?
I'm a scientist, so I know that's true. I really am a scientist. Anyway. All right, we have done that game. I think everyone's pretty satisfied.
I don't know if satisfied's the word, but it's finished.
It's the opportunity for the rest of this podcast to speak in broken English, much like farts. We did not talk about your doppelganger on YouTube, sir.
Oh, Ben Ryan Metzger.
Ben Ryan Metzger.
After the break.
Yeah, after the break. All right, and before we do that, we got to give ourselves a little time to celebrate the internet sensation.
Give me the tray.
Sweeping 92Q. It's time for shoutouts.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Shoutouts.
Shout out.
Somebody say it.
Oh, shout outs.
Thank you. This is the part of the show in which we take a break and we give mad props, aka shout-outs, to persons, places, and things that are improving our quality of life and giving us jollies. My shout-out this week is to the Medfield block party that we went to yesterday.
Oh, it was a delight.
It was a delight. We got pretty hammered. Drank for what, like 11 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling great today.
It was a marathon.
I'm enjoying life. I'm not. That's not a joke. I really did have a good time.
It was great.
We met up with a fan of the show who had proposed that we MC the toilet bowl races at Hamden Fest.
Yeah.
That's kind of a crazy big deal.
It'll be very cool.
It would be super cool.
I have to work.
You have to work.
I'm going to try to rearrange things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any shout-outs, Brian?
I do. I have 2.
Okay, go for it.
It was 1998 week on the AV Club, and they had lots of fun articles about
Armageddon?
things- Yeah, it came up. Things that happened in 1998, so that was a lot of fun. So shout out to that. Also,
Godzilla the movie?
I have ordered the real Italian from Di Pasquale's Harbor East a couple times this week.
Yeah.
and it is so good.
On your way out of the city, as an Italian man, I do encourage you to visit this place. It is delightful.
Okay.
Although I don't know if they're open that late on Sundays. Casey!
From the Fan Zone, shout out from Jeff Elkins to the podcast Bundyville. It's wild, wild country good. I listened to all 7 episodes this weekend. So great.
I need to know what that is about.
should
We don't
find
know.
out.
We'll have to look it up. Yeah.
Shout out from Zach Egoff. Shout out to Evan for following through with the hashtag.
Sure did. Pay that mofo $1 for our hashtag of the week.
From John.
And then he gave it back to me as a tip. So, true Patriot award
there
to
you go.
you, sir.
From John C. Shout out to all beers on Friday nights.
Friday night beers.
Yeah, Friday night beers. And from Robert Kudurka, shout out to Hulu for having every episode of South Park, especially the one where Christopher Reeves gets addicted to stem cells and Jimmy joins
Hackman.
the Crips.
And what?
And Jimmy joins the Crips.
Yeah. Oh, that's a very
Oh,
good
it's a
one.
solid
I mean,
one.
come on. All right, guys. John, who you got a shout out?
Shout out to vasectomies because I'm glad that there's something available to never have a kid that has shits all the time. That's great. So yeah, thanks, docs.
Shit, I don't.
The Miracle of Vasectomies.
Yeah.
Ooh, that could be the title, but no,
there you go.
Diarrhoomba.
What do you got?
I don't have anything.
You don't have any
right now.
shout-outs?
to weed?
Shout out-
Do that?
yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
cool, yeah.
We good with that?
Yeah.
Just always being there for me.
Yeah. Like a warm blanket A plant-based blanket. I guess all blankets are technically plant-based if they're cotton. All right, that has been shout-outs. We do not need to play What's the Bumper this week because we have 2 comedians on the show, and we will simply give you some spots from them as provided by YouTube. Ooh, but we are going to cram in another bit of music from the man known as Ben Ryan Metzger.
And we'll tell you all about him
after the break.
When we get back.
Upset about the election. I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about it too much or whatever. But that you're upset, I can tell you seem like somebody who would be. Because she's not a white male. That's the only reason. I'm upset, but I know I'm in like God's good graces. You know what I mean? Like we lucked out if you're white male. But it was so surreal that night watching the series finale of America. I don't know if anybody else thought of it like that, but it was fucking like they wound up killing off the favorite black character that we had for 8 years. You know, like replaced him with a used condom filled with Sunny D, and we were like, holy shit! Honest to God, I did not see that coming. We didn't. There's no qualifications to be on this show, but they seem to be really forcing it on people. It's kind of fucked up in a way. I don't know. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Here comes the heat flying right on by. They be throwing down, don't give up the fight. Our hearts on fire, we feel alive. We are a team, brother, you and I. 'Cause we don't see no colors of skin, just feeling the fires burning within. We're all part of a big old tribe, so come on and fire up your Indian pride. I said, swing for the fences in your field of dreams. Step up to the plate, fight for what you believe. We've got what it takes, bring them home tonight. We're going for the win in the game of life. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Become the cream and make it rise big.
All right, we are back from break. Brian, you had a question before we get to some other frivolous topics.
Yeah, you guys are like touring comedians and stuff. What are your favorite places to play? What's the worst place you've ever played?
Ooh.
Have you seen the middle of America? What's it like there?
I still have to play these places.
Did you say?
I was about to.
You know what? They're never going to hear it. Don't
I'll tell you
worry.
the most
Yeah.
unusual place I played was a Narcotics Anonymous convention. So, like my second show, and I had a lot of atheist material.
Oh dear.
Which does not. But they were so nice. Like they were so grateful that somebody came to entertain them. That they like good job, trooper.
They're just happy to not be drunk.
You're shitting on my entire belief system that saved me. But thank you for
Hey
being
guy,
here.
thanks for the effort.
Yeah.
Guy.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
There was like one person who liked the joke. I did make it.
The single
kinda
laugh.
Yeah, there was
Ah.
one laugh. Yeah. I was like, all right.
I performed at this one place in Philly, and every now and then you do shows that like you've never heard of before, but it's fun to like you do. You build a community, you get to know people, stuff like that. So I go to do this one in Philly, and it's at a gentleman's club, right? So, and I've stand-ups have done shows in those kind of places before. Whatever.
Was it Delilah's?
And no, in Philadelphia, no.
Yeah.
Is there Delilah's in Philly too?
There is.
Holy shit, I didn't know that. Are they a fucking chain?
I guess. I think
All right.
it's just an easy name.
It's just an eating name. Oh, it's just a famous whore. Okay.
Cougars.
I didn't know. So strippers aren't whores. We have friends.
Delilah was though.
Delilah was. Okay. I don't know. I thought it was Delilah was the radio personality who's
Delilah's.
soft rock. Yeah, man.
That's the one who.
That's the one who's she's the Jewish
who
mother.
Seduces Samson, right?
Yes.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I wasn't even thinking
The
that
guy
part.
gets a haircut, and then he loses his god powers.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right.
That's how that works.
That changes the radio station lady for me completely. Anyway. So I'm doing this gentleman's club thing. We get there, and it's on this one block in a bad area in Philadelphia, and I couldn't find it. Like that's one thing. Like I thought it was a gentleman's club, like like you see in Manhattan, and it's like nice, and you walk in, and there's whatever.
Topless only.
Big bald guy outside.
This is like you know that scene in Roger Rabbit where he knocks on the door and there's like an ape that slides the thing across, like password, like that kind of. But I didn't know, so I'm walking out there and I'm on the block and I don't fucking see it, and they're like, you'll see a light above a door. There's no fucking light switch, no door, and there's literally it's all just broken glass, shady shit or whatever. And then I turn, I see like a door on a wall, like blended in with the wall, and just this blood, like somebody was shotgun blasted up against this door. Awesome. So I was like, that's got to be it. Like, there's no way it's not. So I knocked on the thing, and same thing. So the guy answered the door. He's all creepy. It looks like he was like somebody just dragged him out of a drain, and they were like, "Hey, you're gonna run this place." And he was like, "All right, I'll do it." So he's like there, and he's doing his thing, and it's fucking disgusting. And I was texting my friends who were supposed to come. A couple of the people knew that I was in the area, and they were like, "Hey, listen, just a heads up, don't fucking touch it. This is where you need to. This is where people go when they're blackout drunk and they need Coke at 3:00 in the morning."
You might want to bring a newspaper to put on the seats.
Yeah, they were like, "Don't lean against." And I'm already like, I like to, but I'm like leaning against. They're like, "Don't lean against anything. Don't fucking touch anything." And they're like, do your thing and get the fuck out. But this guy orders free pizza for the comics, which I thought was really sweet.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to turn down food.
What was the topping?
No topping.
Oh.
I'm sure whatever was this, semen, maybe
semen. Ooh,
I'll say the topping should have been hand sanitizer because I would have liked to have. So anyway. So this guy, the old man who runs this place, fucking disgusting, and he's like, "Hey, do you want a slice? Come and get it." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." So I open it up, and he grabs a paper towel to grab the end of the crust, and I thought, how nice of him. He knows he's dirty. Like, that's so sweet. And then I went to grab, he's put apart the pizza, and he's like, "No, you gotta use a paper towel." And I was like, "Me?"
I'm the one.
In this place? I was like,
my hand is the cleanest thing in here.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's been in my ass.
Yeah, that was a fucking weird fucking show. Boston's one of my favorite places to perform. Boston, New York,
great.
And DC. I know, but I really do love DC.
It's all right. So DC is very slowly absorbing Baltimore and all the things that Baltimore loves.
They are co-opting an awful lot of our
I'd
stuff
love to perform
to
in
the
Baltimore.
point where I saw a beer menu at a DC bar that's that listed National Bohemian. What is it? Colloquially known as Natty Bo. It's DC's unofficial beer. And I'm like,
insane.
no, it's not, motherfucker.
Wow.
Insane.
Yeah.
So you, John, you've done some TV. You're on Red Eye with Greg Gutfield, right?
Yeah.
Greggy Guts.
That's a Fox News station. That's a Fox News show. What's it like being on Fox News? Is that something you bring out when you go on dates?
I wrote for. No, not at all. No, I'm usually the one that goes on once and then never comes back because they're like, "Oh, he's like, you know what I mean?" Like,
Yeah.
I just tricked them into getting on there, and then they're like, "Oh, he's pro kneeling. Why do we even have him on this show?" Like, I just did Tom Shalhoub's show recently, which was a lot of fun to do, and I was on with another dude, and it was I had fucking trashed cops, and I was talking about pro kneeling and all that crap, and I'm sure the producer was like, he's never, and I'm not a name enough to have me back
Right.
on to spar with, so they're like, why is he even here?
And you're not like you fight for what you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. Like, you can make jokes about stuff, so
Right.
nobody's gonna you'll fight back. They can't just knock you down,
Right.
And run past.
Yeah,
your,
it was
your
a fun.
liberalness.
Yeah, exactly. It was.
Yeah.
They didn't. It was kind of funny too. They didn't even fucking air. I think is what I said about cops too. But they didn't even. Normally they post the TV the clip on their Facebook page or
Right.
whatever. They posted one, and it was whatever I had to say about being pro kneeling. Or leaving the football guys alone or whatever. And then the rest of it, they just left as audio and not video, which I thought was really funny because I know it was one of those things where we were talking about the cop situation and them shooting black people or whatever. And I had said some shit and I thought in my head, I was like, oh, that's not going to get on at all or
not
anywhere.
gonna like that.
Tom he laughed and then he was he had that face fucking Jesus Christ. And I was like, oh, none of that was supposed to happen. So yeah, that's always fun to do.
I always remember, I would occasionally put Red Eye on because I was like, "What is this show?"
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
an
like
outlier.
the least political of the Fox News shows.
Yeah.
but
Because Greg thought he was a comedian.
yeah,
He would get comedians on there, and comedians want TV time. So
right,
Yep.
yeah, it's very true.
It's just a mutually
Beneficial
Yeah.
arrangement.
It's so weird though. It's fucking weird. That's one of the reasons. You'll see all these comedians on these conservative shows because they're the ones embracing comedians.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They're
And
not
it's-
going to say no to TV time.
Well,
Yeah.
well, the thing is, it's kind of funny in the situation. I starting to see is that conservatives are kind of co-opting comedy in a way because they're like, especially like young comics too, who don't like, they just want to be funny and they want to tell their fucking jokes. So regardless of whether they're liberal or conservative, the more there's too much PC shit going on right now. But conservatives and their TV station stuff like that are like, oh no, come on, like trying to be like the ones who are like, you can make jokes here,
right?
But you know what I mean?
with rape jokes.
Yeah, exactly. Which is weird because they're not even doing that type of humor, but they just comedians want TV time.
Yes.
So we're going on these shows.
That's a weird level. I never really considered the idea that the right is sort of like freedom of speech. We want to be able to say racist shit, and also comedians. We're your ally because you should be.
Yeah, and the young ones coming up are actually now leaning more towards like there's a whole group of comics in Long Island, which it's weird, man.
Long Island.
Well, I know, but like there's a collection of them that are pretty liberal and they're really decent or whatever, and then there's the other ones who are like fucking full on Trump supporting, but like it's crazy, but they have no background for it. It's just that they're really funny.
They want to be able to bring out the
do
flapping
their shit.
dickie and be like,
and they don't
oh,
even
not
do that.
racist.
And there's none of that in their material either. But it's just the conservatives seem to be embracing it, and that's where they're going.
See, I really like Eliza Schlesinger, who is very feminist and very left leaning, but he'll still tell a pretty raunchy sex joke.
Well, people think that you can't tell. It's not that you can't tell raunchy material. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's not.
I think anytime somebody's like, "There's nothing," there's stuff you can't joke about. I don't think that's true. I think sometimes you shouldn't be.
There may be
joking
stuff
at a
that
certain
you can't
moment.
joke about,
right? You particularly, but
Right.
there's no topic that there's never a joke for, like ever.
right? Like I'm not going to tell a joke about like my black family reunion.
Right.
I don't have that experience,
Right.
But I can tell you a joke about a bar mitzvah, and it's the same joke.
Right.
It's just with my perspectives and my flavors. Yeah, I don't like the idea like, oh, we'll let you say whatever you want.
And
Yeah, I don't. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, a lot of people deal with especially the comedians, are dealing with their own shit, processing it via comedy. Like that's how you express stuff that you like. Oh, I've had these terrible thoughts, so I'm going to talk about it as a joke, so that way I can process it and move past it. And I think a lot of people think that it's a thing of intent more than a release.
yeah,
And the thing
Okay,
is
I
that
get
liberals seem to have forgotten that we're supposed to be the ones who get the joke. So they forgot how to even defend. Like we're the ones who are supposed to be able to go, that's clearly a fucking joke and that's a statement. They won't even do that anymore. They have to just pretend that jokes are statements now, only as to not offend, and for some reason it's crossed the line over like into politics so much that like we're still worried about votes, even though we're not
teams,
running
man.
for anything.
It's because it's the most.
Because now it's like
split as
it's
possible.
It's fucking weird. It's gotten into weird territory.
It's almost like the singer-songwriter versus just the singer. Like when people want to see comedians, they're thinking they want to see what they're thinking as opposed to just a pop singer who buys a song.
It's like when people are recording comedians in a club. Comedians, that's where they practice.
Right.
Like you don't see a musician between shows just doing their practice sessions all the
Noodling.
time.
Yeah.
But that's how comedians have to practice, because you only can figure out what you're doing based on reactions.
Yeah.
So, like, if you practice just by yourself like that, it would be useless. So people are recording stuff that's raw and not developed. The person doing it knows it's not developed, and they're going to change it.
Yeah, that hour special is not the first time they're doing that material.
To do an hour special, you got to practice it like dozens of times.
And there's also this weird thing now where it's like everything needs to be for everyone, and I don't understand why that's a thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like if you don't like, it may not be. It doesn't make it bad. It doesn't make you bad or your taste bad in general. But comedy may not be for you. So stay the fuck out of my club. You know what I mean? Like I understand if you're offended by a certain thing, or maybe you don't like all types of humor, or whatever the deal is. But you don't have to go to a comedy club. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, or you don't have to listen to that song. Like I'm not a big country music fan. You know what I mean? But no one should ask me about country music because it's not for me. You know what I mean? I don't want to fuck
stupid.
I don't want to fuck a guy in $1,000 pair of jeans in the back of his truck and then you know what I mean? Like that's not for me. But some people like it, and that's fine.
So
I'm gonna go to that concert.
I haven't watched it yet. Have you guys watched?
Oh, here we go.
So
Are
I
you gonna
knew
do
where
it?
we were going with
I'm ready
this.
to go for it.
How do you guys feel about Nanette?
I'll tell you how I feel about it.
Well, so I haven't watched it. You can go into your. I immediately saw like people talking about it and like talking about how great it was as a stand-up thing, and their descriptions to me were immediately, that's not stand-up. Sounds entertaining, but it doesn't sound like stand-up.
Okay.
We had
So I did not watch it yet, but
I watched it. because my friend was insisting that I watch this thing, and I'm always open to shit, so whatever. And I've read about it too, and I'd read this is changing stand up and all this other crap. Right? Here's the thing. I think she performance wise, she's fucking great. I think her story was amazing. I think she executed it well. I don't think it belongs in a stand-up category. I don't think it belongs mixed in with Hannibal Buress and Bill Burr and Elijah Schlesinger or Amy Schumer or even Kathleen Madigan. Like it's a TED Talk with a few jokes mixed in.
It's crossed into a one-woman show type of territory.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me.
Well, have you ever seen Ken Robinson? He's a guy he's written a bunch of books on education and all this other shit. And he did a TED Talk in like 2009, and he does it about how schools kill creativity. He's fucking hilarious in this TED Talk,
but it's
not a
still not
stand-up
stand-up.
special.
Gotcha.
Right.
And she cries in the middle of it, and she breaks down in it, and she kind of criticizes stand-up in a way that is, I think she does it. It's more an individual viewpoint of it. So it may not work for her. And she calls about self-deprecation, how it's not a good way to deal with shit, which I think is just for her. Right. But she doesn't make that point. Yeah. She makes it so other people who don't really like stand-up or never really understood it now have a thing they get to call stand-up, which is what I was talking about before, which is never everything is for everybody. So these people don't particularly like Chappelle or Chris Rock or Kathleen Madigan or Ellen or any of that kind of crap. Now they have this thing for them that has been crafted, and all these bloggers get to say, this is stand-up now. But that's like me. Like, I'm allergic to dogs. So it's not like I'm going to find like a fucking lamp that's shaped like a dog and be like, that's the new dog. That's a dog now. I love dogs. Long live Lamp Dog.
Yeah, so that could also be the title.
Please long live Lamp Dog.
Long live Lamp Dog. No, a few weeks ago we had two female comedians on, and we discussed this at length.
Yeah.
And we all came to the sort of agreement that, yeah, it's a performance. It's not stand-up. And I guess, but at the same time, like, there shouldn't be actual anger over labeling it as such. But why don't we work on the process of calling this something
Nobody
slightly
yells
different?
at Margaret's show for saying one-woman show, you know?
Right.
And she's been doing that for 10 years now.
Well, I'll tell you
longer.
about the one-woman show thing or the one-man show thing in the stand-up sense, too, is that's a way, like, so, so Colin Quinn's got a one-man show that he does, the first one he did on HBO or whatever.
And you wrote for Colin, right?
No, not for Colin.
You
no,
opened for him?
I opened for Colin Quinn.
He is my Weekend Update guy.
He's
And
fucking.
the only person who says
He's
that.
great. He is
Yeah.
great. He's fucking hilarious.
Hey, Colin.
But he's number 2 for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Colin,
Yeah.
when are we going to get that beer?
But he did this HBO special and they called it a one man show or whatever. But stand-ups tend to call certain things like that one man shows because it gives it a certain prestige and it enables them to get nominated for certain things. You know
John
what I mean?
Leguizamo.
And it is John Leguizamo, and it is designed in a way like that has a specific director, like the set up.
Right.
So those are kind of different things like that. I think that's why most stand-ups will call that. And there's no anger over her performance or the show.
I'm not referring to you specifically.
No, I know, but I'm
like,
saying I think the anger comes from these people who don't like stand-up. And they're now saying that this is the way it should be done.
Right.
Which, by the way, now I have to go watch fucking open micers open their goddamn journals. Yep. And open. I don't want to fucking see. I don't want to hear your bullshit.
not a
I don't
laugh
wanna fucking
amongst
hear your
it.
shit.
Yeah, just
It'd be like if I was like, hey man, have you ever seen?
Rough.
Yeah. It'd be like if I was like, hey, have you ever seen Blazing Saddles? And you were like, no. And instead I put on Schindler's List.
Right.
And you were like, this is, and you were just crying. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, no, this is Blazing Saddles. This is what it is.
This is
Best
supposed
comedy of the year.
Yeah, this is what we're, so we're watching now.
Like, there's no doubt in my mind that. And I wish I could remember her name. Like she's a stand-up, but she's done stand-up.
Yeah.
Hannah Gadsby.
But
She's
maybe
very funny.
this thing isn't necessarily stand-up.
But it's weird that they doubled down and like they had to make this
It's
point.
like when like they do those new restaurants and like we've deconstructed a burger.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not a burger. It's
IHOP.
really cool. I'll try out whatever this thing is. But
But
It's
it
not a
is. It's
burger.
just people genuinely wanting it to be something it's not, so that it's palatable for them. And I don't care to make anything palatable for people. Who,
Yeah.
you know, I don't get it.
Cool.
I like when people stay in their lane. It's like when you're on the parkway and there's somebody in the left lane and they're doing 65. That's not your lane, dude. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate you
Get out
wanting
of
to
my
give
way.
the left lane a shot, but you're in my fucking way, and we made a lane for you. We made the right lane. There's nothing wrong with the right lane. Sometimes I'm sleepy, and I like to take the right lane. But get the fuck out of my left lane. I sound really angry, and can you tone the...
That's fine.
So,
That's fine.
I think
pleasant music in the
started
background.
off with the stay in your lane seemed really like you have to be this. But I think what you're more of, like, if you're not actually going to do this thing, don't do it.
Yeah. You're more than welcome to come over into it.
Sure.
But do 90 and risk your life like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Because you have to be at an IHOP to meet your friends
and
at 4 in the morning.
During a stand-up event where it's all tight fives or whatever, you can't like break up the flow by introducing a woman who makes not even a joke, but talks about a miscarriage that she had and how painful it was, but manages to tack a joke on the end of it, and it just kind of like totally, it's too much fluctuation in terms of the energy in the room, and nobody needs that. So it's sort of an either or. Like, have a night where there's nothing but that. It's like emotional exploration, but also keep the other thing separate but equal.
Yeah.
I mean, I think hearing like the jokes like after stuff can work if that's how you because again, that's what I was saying, you deal with stuff through humor, and that's clearly what she was doing.
And
right?
I think and I have yet to hear his name, and I can't believe I'm going to be the first person that I can think of to say it. I think about guys like Christopher Titus.
Right.
Oh, he's amazing.
Amazing. And like that's what he's doing is he's working out his shit on stage. But yeah, I think it's not always stand up.
I don't always consider him
No,
stand
it's
up.
not.
But I find him entertaining.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing with like Birbiglia. Like Birbiglia started out as a stand-up. I see where
But
he
he's
comes from
not
as a stand-up.
anymore.
But when
Yeah.
he's putting those shows together, and he'll even say, like when he puts
Yeah.
when he's in a club, he's totally doing just jokes and
Right.
the rhythm's a little different and all that stuff.
But when he's doing
putting those
NPR,
shows
it's something
together,
different.
Oh, right.
yeah. And that's another thing too. There's no anger to it. Like again, she's amazing. I think she's really good at whatever she does. And the same way I think Chris Titus is good at it, or John Leguizamo is good at it. Like that's a great fucking genre, but it's the people who want it to be this other thing.
No one ever says David Sedaris is doing stand up.
Exactly. And that's another thing too, man. I'll tell you right now, stand-ups do not care for being compared to humorists. Like that's annoying as shit.
So we went to see Nick Offerman and Megan Mullally, and one of the funniest 90 minutes I've ever had, but at no point in time was like, this isn't stand-up, this is fucking Mark Twain shit.
Yeah.
You know, this is humorists.
Right.
And it is something different.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, but it's always Big Tents as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
So yeah,
great.
You got to ask these days. I don't remember the last time there was something so divisive in
so
comedy.
fucking divisive
Yeah.
now in general.
You know, I guess
It's
you
cool.
like-
Trump's getting impeached.
is it?
People keep so counting on that happening. Like
They
any
really
second.
are just waiting.
And I'm like, dude, every time you think you're just falling for it, like the dog with the ball.
No, you're exactly right. That is exactly what is going on.
But we have to remember that when people are like, let's get Trump impeached, that means Pence is going to be president. And
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
they're
gonna suck no
investigating
matter
him
what,
too, but it sucks.
Yeah.
It's not going
I
to...
feel like the problem is like the main argument people are making on who run the Democratic Party are saying like, let's just do what we're doing now, but without Trump. And that's not
working either.
That's not working. Like it's all shit, and it's not just Trump.
Do you find that you guys are being forced more and more to do political stuff? Do you even want to do
I like
political
doing political stuff.
You do?
Personally. Yeah. My Twitter's pretty ranty.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
I like talking about it, and I like writing it for other comedians and stuff like that too. I don't do too much of it on stage because I like to just talk about...
Not everybody wants to hear it, so I try to keep in mind who I'm talking to and whether like if I talk to somebody who wants to talk about it, I'll get into it.
The only time I do it on stage is if I have, like, I've got like 3 or 4 jokes that I'll tell that I know that I think are really, they're funny, that I know will get great laughs, and that's about it. But there's other guys that do it so well that I don't need to touch it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they're covering it, and it's been covered, and, I've been in these meetings and stuff like that too. They're kind of actually almost moving away now from,
I think they got their asses kicked with Roseanne.
Yeah, everything's gonna burn you.
Yeah, no, not just that. I just mean like the Daily Show type shows and stuff
yeah.
like that. Like
Gotcha.
they're really like not looking for it anymore. Like in terms of like
They don't
when
do
I'm
well
when
anymore.
No, they don't do well, but there's so many.
Yeah.
And there's who does it well? It's Seth Meyers does a great job, and John Oliver.
Yeah.
And then
And-
he's the best, and who the fuck else does it?
What happened to Michelle Wolf's
Trevor Noah's
show?
still
It
good.
got
Canceled
canceled.
it.
Why?
Canceled, yeah.
Like why?
I don't know.
Netflix hasn't figured out how to do a weekly show.
And
yet.
Joel
throw money,
McHale.
but- Yeah, they haven't. There's
Well-
nothing that's like scheduled on there. Everything's just binge.
It's hard to do a show.
It's weird that they did the Joel McHale show, but then didn't try to make it anything different than The Soup.
Yeah.
or at least didn't
Well, it had F-bombs.
keep doing it.
But Hassan Minaj is coming out with another show on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
it's going to be the same thing.
Oh.
So it's Michelle Wolf with Hassan Minaj.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
I think those guys are. I mean, Hassan Minaj, like again, a one man show.
He's so funny.
but super funny. I wonder if is it because like this shit has stopped being funny? Like you can only make so
that's
many
kinda-
like orange bald jokes, and like at this point,
I think
it's like
it's too like the painful parts of it are
a little
still
too raw
there,
still.
right? Like you haven't had a moment like a lot of like the gallows humor stuff is like right after you've had a moment of safety or right before something terrible is about to happen. Not while you're in constant state of dread.
right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's also kind of like the forcing everybody to kind of care about it like 24/7. You got to have some life.
Well,
you know?
I hate to give
Yeah.
him credit, but I think one of the greatest things that Rudy Giuliani ever did was show up on
he
SNL
dead?
and
Sorry. I was going to say.
and say, you know, it's okay to laugh again.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't have that. You have yet to, because shit ain't over yet. So you don't have
Right.
that moment yet. And whereas it's easy to like joke in an Obama administration where everything seems pretty rosy.
Yeah.
nothing seems rosy enough to
No.
joke
Well,
about.
you don't know where it's going to go, too.
Right.
Like, you're not sure how it's going to end up. Like, I'm still pretty convinced that he's going to end up winning in 2020.
Oh, absolutely fucking
Right? Okay. Oh, cool. You actually seem like a smart crowd.
I don't trust the American
Right.
public as
That's-
far as I can throw.
Well, he's
them.
got like 86% approval with Republicans.
Yeah.
Like, they fucking... He's the new Reagan. He's better than Reagan because he does exactly what they wanted
because
and
well,
curses, like, explicitly.
and Reagan gave immunity to the illegal immigrants.
Yeah,
you know?
like he's just willing to like just treat anybody like a piece of shit. After John McCain died, he just tweeted like a nice thing about. That's the first
Right.
nice thing he said about him. Though.
And he didn't write it.
No, he didn't write it.
absolutely insane.
All right.
Political portion.
Pivot.
over.
As we're talking about the oversaturation of politics.
It manages to creep into all the things.
Yeah.
Apologies,
That's got to be brought up.
All right, so we can do we have to talk about
Ben.
aforementioned Ben
Ryan
Ray
Metzger.
Oh, yeah.
Metzger.
Ryan, we went looking for you on YouTube and got distracted immediately.
Yeah, you should have been distracted by Ben. He is a character.
This guy.
This is a very visual topic. If you are listening, pause the show. Go look up Ben Ray Metzger on
Ben
the
Ryan Metzger.
Ben Ryan. Sorry.
Sounds like Ben Ryan.
I think it's just RyanMetzger.com.
Because I know a guy named Ben Ray who owns
I
Atomic
believe
Books.
he has the domain name I would like to have.
Motherfucker. Anyway, look him up on YouTube. This guy has some of the most amazing
Choreography.
Can't
choreography,
believe he
voice
could've been our
work.
Captain
voice
America.
work,
Yeah, right.
emotion.
So close.
He lifts tires.
Imagine.
He has real struggles.
Oh, the no-name RyanMetzger.com is.
Oh, it is available. It's
What?
not.
Oh,
Get it.
Fucking get this,
he
guys.
has Ben Ryan Metzger.com.
does?
Yes.
I sworn he had Ryan for a while.
$12.95. I'll pay for it. You just Venmo me.
Imagine
Get
a beefy James Spader
Yes,
Yeah.
doing Patrick Swayze level choreography
but not quite.
to tribute songs written to the Cleveland
He'd be
Indians.
great on
And-
a CW show.
And the Cavaliers. Yes.
He also has a couple of girlfriends, maybe.
A couple.
Here's
No.
here's the thing.
Doing a good job with my name. I appreciate it.
Yeah, right.
Here's the thing about these videos. There are videos where it's just him in a room with green walls, and he talks to the camera, usually crying, and he'll talk about how much he loves these women. I cannot tell if these people exist.
I don't know if the girls.
Oh.
I think a lot of the stuff is like acting.
I think it's his like
clips,
SAG-AFTRA demo reel or
yeah,
some
I
shit.
think it's a lot of it's because I've seen his crying in demo reels.
Is this a
and
Lonely
it's-
Girl 15 scenario? Do you guys know about Lonely Girl
No.
15?
What the hell is that?
It was one of the original YouTube hits
Uh-huh.
where it was just like some girl like crying about like her life in college, and then it like adds cults and like supernatural shit, and like she just disappears, and you find out a year later that this was like a whole web series that these
Right.
people had
Yeah.
done.
Wow.
Lonely Girl 15.
So this guy not only does these phenomenal music videos and these YouTube breaking up the girlfriend videos. Here's why I think it's fake. Because I looked him up on Facebook, and then his list of friends is completely publicly available. I looked up Leanna, the love of his life. She does not appear on his friends list.
Yeah, he's not there anymore. Well, they broke.
He could
up.
have unfriended her, blocked her.
They broke up.
What? I don't care, Caitlin.
You don't
It's fake.
unfriend Ben
Trying to make a
Ryan
point
Metzger.
here, Caitlin.
Yeah, these videos are insane. You need to watch them. That's all I have to say about that.
There are lots of Brian Levys out there. Ryan Metzger's. I mean, there are a few Jews like running around.
Just a few Jews running around.
Well, when I heard we were
At
having
least
Ryan,
a million.
I was gonna say, did you just out the only ones
You
that are
thought I
left?
was Jewish, right?
I thought you might have been a buddy of mine. I was like, I emailed like my friend Adam, Adam Metzger, whose brother is Ryan. I'm like, is your brother coming on my podcast tomorrow? And he's like, is this a shameless plug for your podcast? Am I a bad friend because I forgot this thing existed? I was like,
That's hilarious.
no to the plug, yes to the bad friend. But yeah.
Also, like that he didn't deny that he had a brother Ryan.
Oh no! I know Ryan. Like,
Oh, okay.
yes, he exists.
Okay.
So yeah, I figured you were Jewish because I know a couple Ryan Metzgers in town.
But please do not skip the tribute video that he does where he dances with batons wearing a LeBron James jersey outfit.
I think it's called the Space Jam LeBron
Something.
Yeah.
I have not.
I have a good-
not checked on him in at least a year or two because it sounds like there is a lot of new content.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot since the last time we saw him.
Yeah.
I have a good fake Jewish story for you.
I love it.
Fake Jewish.
Do you guys know Gary Goldman, comedian?
No.
He was on. If you knew, he was on Dane Cook's Torgasm thing. It was Gary Goldman, but he's hilarious.
Oh, yeah, yes.
One of the best, right? And he just did a Conan appearance, fucking crushed it.
What was the name of the very Christian guy that was on Tourgasm?
Oh, it was
Jim Gaffigan.
Jim Davis, right?
No, Jim Davis is the creator of Garfield.
No, but there's a Jim. I know.
How many Jim Davis references?
Garfield came out in 1978, and he lives in Indiana. I was a big Garfield fan when I was a kid. That's
I
right.
feel like all children our age, love.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to the library. Let me get some of those weird shaped Garfield books.
Right, exactly.
They're entirely too wide and narrow, and
Yeah.
they
I
flop
got my
around.
first one in a Walmart, so there you go.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I got mine through Scholastic.
Hey, nice.
Book club shit was great.
So Gary Goldman, I'm at the comic strip. I'm going on the late show. It's like 11:30. Gary comes off, and he comes up to me and he starts talking to me. And he's like, "Hey, nice set." And I'm like, "Thanks." And I've never met him before, and I'm pumped because I'm like, I love this dude. Like, he's fucking hilarious. And he just starts talking to me for like ever out of the blue. So we're shooting the shit, going back and forth, and then he winds up leaving real quick, and he goes back out. And he comes back with ice cream. I'm like, well, look at you. I'm like, so we're just hanging out. We're talking more, whatever. And this
What flavor?
What? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Vanilla,
Fish
maybe we
food.
got or something like that. It was from across the street. So, reading this shit or whatever, and then the show kind of lets out, and one of these elderly women comes out. She comes up to me as Gary is still talking. She's completely rude and interrupts, and she says something nice to me. So I kind of turn to say something to her to get her to go away. And Gary goes at the same time, "So you're a yid, huh?"
Oh.
I heard kid, but I was talking to her, so I went, yeah. And I kept going and kept talking to her. Then I turned back to this conversation I'm having with one of my fucking heroes. So I'm just talking to Gary, we're going back and forth, and he's like, yeah, but he's like, so how did your parents take it when you wanted to become a comedian? I'm
And
thinking,
not a lawyer.
yeah, I know. And I was like, oh, they were fine with it. And he goes, that's so weird because, you think Jewish parents, and my brain went, what? And I was like, and I just like kept looking at him, and I was like, oh my God, he fucking thinks I'm Jewish. So he's like, yeah, Jewish parents, but that's great, man, yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, oh my God, he's going to hear my last name. It's Poveromo.
I was gonna say,
yeah,
like-
he's going to know I'm not Jewish. So I went, yeah, by the way, I'm only Jewish on my mom's side. And then my brain was like, you idiot. You idiot. It's full-blown Jew. And like, that doesn't count. Your dad doesn't count. I'm like, fuck.
I need to explain to you why my name isn't Poveromo Steen.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, whatever. So I just say that, and he's like, oh, no, don't worry, man. That still counts. And I'm embedded in this fucking lie. And he's still talking. He's loving me, and I'm like, I'm not going to stop this thing. So he pats me. He's like, we got to do some shows together, man. I'll catch you later. And he walks out. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to get booked at a temple. Like, I'm not going to know what to say or do. And then I was trying to tell, like, John Fish, this other guy, I don't know if you know, but he's fucking hilarious, too, because he's best friends with Gary. So John and I are working together, and I'm like, you got to tell him. You got to smooth it over. He's like, what the fuck would you lie? I'm like, dude, he could have been like, if he was gay and he thought I was gay, I would have been like, yeah, but I only sucked dick on my mom's side. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't have mattered at that point. I just would have kept, because I didn't want to break up the rhythm. And so, but he wound up telling Gary, and Gary is just like,
Is that how you ask if somebody's Jewish?
a yid?
Are you a
It
yid?
depends. It depends if you want a chance getting your ass kicked or not. So
Oh, okay.
Normally, I'm like, so Jewish, like,
Yeah. Well, because
like, what's your penis look like?
Because witnesses have their own stuff too. Like, if you're another witness, you're in the truth.
Oh, okay. So
Are you in the truth?
you have those certain sibilants.
Capitalized. Like, they have their own special truth.
I just, yid.
brain.
That's not a good way to do it, man.
I've realized
You
it's
come
short
through some
for...
kind of heeb. I like that. That works.
Kind of heat.
I feel like you got to know your crowd for that.
Right. What are you, Jewish?
You
Gross.
wearing the religious headgear there, buddy?
Gross. Speaking of which, Brian, I just put your Ravens yarmulke on the stairwell.
My
so
cousin's kippah.
Oh, it was
Got that from a bar mitzvah. I mean, normally I keep them in my suit jacket.
Nice.
Oh, that's a smart place to store them.
Well, because in case I ever need one, I'm like, no, I have my own. Thank you.
Nice.
That's how you know a real Jew.
How is it?
How many kippahs can they pull out of their pockets? What was the last event I was at? Oh, Jacob's bar mitzvah.
I like seeing the Ninja Turtle yarmulke there.
Well, you can really take puffy paint and do whatever you want with them.
Oh,
So you were born here, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're a Maryland Jew. Because I was gonna say when you're in Brooklyn, like when I was growing up there, like Italians and Jews, we're all like that's why half the people I know always think I'm Jewish anyway. Because they're like, oh, your mannerisms.
It's
Right.
yeah. It's
we're all
definitely-
on the same block.
You do not have that in that. Baltimore is known as a city of neighborhoods. So you had your
Oh.
Jewish neighborhood,
Very
you had
explicit.
your Italian neighborhood.
Yeah.
So you guys all knew who was who.
Right. So like
Oh,
in
yeah.
places like Brooklyn where there's a lot of mixing, you just did
don't
not
have that.
But that's also where they that wave of immigration, they shunted off those like fake white people out to Brooklyn. So they all mixed there.
I had a friend who lived in Brooklyn, and I visited him, and it was the first. And I was like in my late 20s, and it was the first time.
You've
that
seen an Orthodox?
No, I've.
Because Williamsburg is his whole own thing.
Yeah, that I had seen the front yard New Year's box or whatever it's called.
It's called a Sukkot.
Okay.
And it's a hut,
hut.
and that's
Yeah.
where we do our.
Oh, right, right, right.
That's where we do it's the Jewish Harvest Festival.
Gotcha.
You gotta live out there for.
I was
a
like,
week.
"What's up with these boxes?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's a Hasidic."
Oh, you go over on Smith Avenue, man. They're lousy with them.
Okay.
We do you know like Lakewood, New Jersey? Are you familiar with it at all? It's
No.
a huge Orthodox Jewish population.
Okay, sure.
It was right one town over from us, so
Yeah.
we're very familiar with that.
So I grew up reading Philip Roth. So the only real Jewish New Jersey I know is fictional and in the 1950s. It doesn't
Yeah.
exist. It's new. It's Newark before the before the Jews moved out.
right.
But that's all I know. I don't know shit.
The Hasidics in Brooklyn, man, it was like they were always some of them like super nice or whatever the deal is. But I remember being a kid and I was playing like handball because that's how old I am. I guess I don't know. That sounds like a 1950s.
Not stickball?
Yeah, exactly.
Hand-
I
But it
took
was
my
fun.
I had
Handball.
my Spalding. and I
Exactly,
played
dude. Exactly.
handball.
It was one of those blue Spalding balls. So I'm doing it against a brick wall, or whatever, and it winds up going up, and it lands in this Hasidic Jewish woman's carriage, and I was like I was like, oh my god, I'm like it's crazy, but I'm like, I'm
Don't
so
touch her.
sorry, right? But I'm like, can I get my ball? And she takes off, and now I'm running after her, and I was like, I'm running after a woman down the street, and I was only like, I was like 11, like you know what I mean? But I'm like. I'm like, oh my god, this doesn't look good. None of this looks good. Like even that, but I was like, can I
this is-
just?
It's about to turn into the opening scene of Sleepers.
Yeah.
Very bad.
Yeah, I was like, none of this looks good. I got to stop. But then I was like, my parents like, where's your ball? And I'm like, you're never gonna believe me.
And then there's stuff like Motherless Brooklyn by Jonathan Lethem. Like I read books like that. Like I know nothing about Brooklyn. I was up there a couple weeks ago. Went to the House of Yes, which is some club, but it was very intimidating.
yeah,
I
Hey,
like
Brooklyn's
it.
nice now.
Yeah.
It's not.
Went
that
to
bad.
Roberta's Pizza. That's some
okay.
place. I don't know.
You got to go to Grimaldi's. You got to go
Put
to
it on the list.
You got to go to Gino's.
What for cheesesteaks or is
No,
this,
pizza, man, and Italian ice.
Oh,
13th Avenue.
we gotta do a field trip one day.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, we'll reach out to you for some
Oh
help.
man, I got them all.
Okay,
I know where to go.
great.
It's,
Hey,
it's all hipster now, shit. So it's not. That bad.
yeah. So the last time I was up there, I was seeing a Norwegian exchange student, and I was like,
That was the bad
Congratulations.
name.
What's
It was
going
really
on?
hipster.
Shout out to Kaya, gorgeous lady. Yeah, Williamsburg was confusing to me because I had never
Yeah.
really seen the fun employed, real hipsters. Because Baltimore, we've got them, but they're all going to Micah. They're not really
Yeah.
poor, or are they? I can't
You
tell.
can't tell
Yeah.
anybody from the past generation that you're going to Williamsburg though, because they'll be like, "Don't go there alone. That's Stab Central," and you're just like, "No, not anymore." It's
Yeah, not
just,
anymore.
Like my friend, it's weird though, because now I feel like I went to Bed-Stuy. Everybody knows Bed-Stuy. Like bullets don't even go to Bed-Stuy. Like that's how fucked up Bed-Stuy is. But it's slowly now. It's one of those places. So I realized I was in the middle of that transition because I stayed. My friend lives there. She was away, so she gave me the keys to her place, and I got to crash it there. But I didn't get there. I didn't get done with my shows until like 2:30 in the morning. So I get there, and I'm like walking down the street, and there's just a dude just beating it off, like against this, like one of the markets over there, which I thought was very nice of him to do because
Giuliani's New York.
Yeah, exactly. That was a taste of it. And taste is the wrong word, but
Giuliani's New York. Didn't he ship away all the homeless people?
he did, but it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's doing it like a gentleman, like leaning against the wall, doing it like
He's
just
looking away.
Yeah,
He's not making eye contact.
So I was like,
with
I
anyone,
respect. So I was
which
like,
is
all
the
right,
nicest thing.
yeah, exactly. So I
He's
was like,
just thinking about a nice
But then
lady.
I woke up in the morning and it was fucking like just millennial hipster central. I didn't even know that there was a bagel shop across the street with the fucking line out the door, and I was like, oh, this is
curfew.
almost gentrification, but not yet. So it was nice. It was weird. It was like sketchy at night, and then all like graphic tees and
I had a cousin
no
who lived at
showers.
the corner of First and First. So like, I mean, I was like, first off, you realize it's a Seinfeld joke. He's like, yeah, just shut the fuck up and let's keep moving. But like, we went to a party in like a warehouse in Williamsburg, and it's like this was in 2000. So I mean, like this was really sketchy, but also flat out the coolest thing I'd ever done in my life.
But yeah, that's like the sweet spot is like all the kids in their mid-20s get to hang out in shitball areas that haven't yet flipped. And then, if you decide to actually stay long enough, you will get priced out of your own living conditions. And then it's like,
Absolutely.
whoops, guess I got to go to the next shithole.
I'm almost positive that's the plot of Rent. So
Oh, there you go. And tangentially, maybe the plot of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but the sequel.
yeah,
Because that was about the trolley system, the freeways, and then the sequel would have been about the Toons living in, the
estate?
ghetto Toon.
Oh, jeez.
The ghettos of the Toons, and then because all the fancy buildings got built, and the Toons don't make any money. They don't get paid. They're cartoon
we
slaves.
pay them
Oh,
peanuts. It's true.
Damn.
You
Yeah.
don't get paid anything? I didn't think about that.
No, I didn't think
I-
it
No,
was either.
he
You
says
were-
at one point they're paying Dumbo in peanuts.
Peanuts.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, you're right.
We got him on loan from Disney.
Toontown
Yeah.
was nothing more than a slum,
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
a very
It's the
colorful
peanuts.
slum.
Yeah, that's true.
Dark.
Speaking of animals,
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
there's a billboard.
Brian, you deserve this.
Thank you.
That's our transition sound.
You want to mention that billboard that PETA put up? Good work, PETA.
Might as well do a little riffing on this PETA billboard. Has a little crab on it, a blue crab. We're a little fanatical about our crabs here in a non-genital lice variety, but the edible blue crab, the Chesapeake Bay blue crab, which typically comes from Texas or Louisiana or North Carolina at this point.
All the Maryland blue crabs come from the Gulf. It's just happening.
But the billboard reads,
I'm me, not meat.
yes, and if you read the article that is associated with this billboard from the PETA people making a statement, they say that crabs have 1, personalities, 2, they feel pain, and 3, have emotions.
I don't know about the emotions part. I don't doubt the first two.
Okay, PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. What is a crab?
It's not an animal.
It's
an
not an
insect.
animal. It's a bug. It's a fucking water bug.
That's in the animal kingdom, isn't it?
Right, but not like an
It's not-
animal
right, right,
animal.
right.
You mean it's
Yeah,
not
but-
cute? You animal racist.
You know what else is an animal?
It's also related to our oldest enemies. Like the oldest enemies, the first fish were scorpions from underwater that were like 6 feet
That's
tall.
all
So
those
I-
things are, though.
I like that.
lobster-
Kill them.
Like think
for-
about it this way:
or
if you
they'll
saw
come back.
if you saw a lobster in your fucking kitchen you'd fucking kill it.
Oh, you would smash it
They're monsters.
immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is me point about say cockroaches or other insects
Yeah.
that we've deemed squashable. What are you going to do about the people that are eating crickets out there in the world in Central America and other parts?
Protein, too.
Sure,
It's actually very green.
cricket flour. It's
Yeah.
very sustainable. What are we going to do? Put billboards up
eat
at every
way more
red
bugs.
lobster in America and say,
You'd actually reduce the amount of animals we eat if we ate way more bugs.
very true. This is a talking point that I've had for how many years, Casey?
All of them.
Thank you.
how many PETA members have an iPhone that was made from the blood of a child? You know what I mean? That they're using to make these billboards on.
Oh, they don't care about humans, man.
Right, exactly. That's true.
We did a taste test of actual crickets
Yeah.
on the show.
Oh wow.
Not only that, but I neglected to tell you all this, but I ordered a bunch of scorpion jerky, and we're going to eat it.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to do that on the show.
I think PETA really is the ultimate white woman group because
Yeah.
it's like people who join PETA, their priorities are skewed.
Yeah.
That maybe they're not paying attention to the right thing, and you got to have a lot of time on your hand to be like, you know what, I'm gonna be an animal terrorist.
Yeah.
Well, and time has demonstrated over and over that they're giant hypocrites because they're like, Nobody should own pets.
They euthanize animals.
Yeah.
Like they don't have any programs for like getting animals adopted.
Yeah, they're
I
not
think
like
it's immoral for you to have them.
Right. It's this weird sort of anarchy-based animal theory that, dogs should just be free to run around and do their own dog thing and diarrhea all over your floor.
Right.
Oh wow!
But they
Great
all- like,
good callback.
Thank you. High five.
They support a lot of like kill shelters and stuff like that, though. They do a lot of programs to euthanize animals.
Right. And if you see the like company photos of the staffers of PETA, half of them have dogs with them.
Oh, right. Obviously,
Pet
you got
dogs.
Yeah.
But so again, should we put these billboards up in Louisiana and say these crawdad boils are immoral? You should not be
just gonna laugh at you.
Do not enjoy your shrimp cocktail because this shrimps have thoughts and feelings and they have souls.
PETA's one step away from like making a Facebook page for every chicken. You know what I mean? Like it's also got a profile and a life.
Wow, that would probably get a lot of people.
And
Swipe
Really
right on that
effective.
chicken,
Chicken Tinder.
I was a vegetarian
That's
for.
how you get your meal. That's
Yeah.
the counter at PETA.
Ooh, yeah.
Like,
Ooh,
choose the cow
yeah,
about
choose
it.
your chicken.
Oh.
What would that app be
I was
called?
vegetarian for a year and a half, and
Tender?
I never gave a fuck about if anybody ate meat in front of I had to do it.
Yeah.
I had some like stomach issue thing going on or whatever, so I was
Oh.
trying to like figure out what the deal was. So I stopped and I was like, all right, I just won't eat meat anymore, yada yada yada. But like I've got friends who do that and they're like, please don't fucking send me like pictures of food like with meat. And then I'm like, you've been eating meat since you were fucking 20, like something you've never seen it before.
Please don't show me food.
Yeah.
Well,
I know
I feel
it's
like
a thing that everybody eats all the time.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to know that it exists.
But they're
That's
like, I
the
don't want to see with
dividing
meat
line.
on it.
That's like the dividing line between vegetarian and vegan.
Yeah.
A vegetarian can mostly get by without having to talk to you about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But a vegan wants you to know that they're vegan.
I do,
Vegan's like a new atheist.
but I do want to know
Yeah.
the vegan theory behind not eating like a cricket.
Or
I
honey.
guess that anything that moves or is a product like
I
it's
think it
just
depends on the kind of vegan.
But they totally ignore the science of how plants feel, and they scream, but
Sure.
we can't hear it, and
Well,
they feel pain.
there's
They have
also-
receptors to pain, and
There's also some places you can't rely on crops for the bulk of your food. Like dry places, it's not sustainable. You have to use so much water to keep those crops around that you're going to be wasting it. So the best, most efficient way to get that energy is from animals, from livestock.
like I don't doubt that like it would benefit us at a large
should eat
scale to
less
not
meat.
to not eat as much meat.
Oh, we
but at the
eat
same time,
absurd amounts of meat.
I'm
Too
not
much
gonna
meat. Yeah.
I'm not gonna like not eat it because I'm
not worried about a crab having feelings.
do you know what the
That's
number
yeah,
one?
for goddamn sure.
Do you know what the number one global polluter is?
Start-
Methane from cow farts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
Well-
it's number one.
right, not number one, but
Prove me wrong.
It's up there.
But like I
Nothing.
understand like so here's the thing like pigs make me it makes me feel bad to eat like or to see like they're sweet like they're actually like
They're pretty clever too.
They do have personalities.
Yeah.
Pigs are where I get a little like,
Yeah.
like I don't really eat pork. I don't need to eat it. Like if I
Yeah.
feel like it's one of those things where I'm like I'm not gonna miss it
Oh, see,
and
now
I
I
feel
want a
bad
pork
about
chop
it.
so bad just because you said pork.
Oh really? No, I
Like,
hated pork chops
yeah.
since I was a kid.
I have to eat some like bacon and stuff every once in a while.
I'm not a big bacon fanatic, but I'll eat it if it's there. But I don't need to eat it.
Like we have this. Well, I wouldn't even call him a friend, but we know this guy who has a.
Drew that line pretty quickly.
Yes, he has a therapy pig. He lives in the city. It is a big old pig, and sleeps with him in the bed. But I see the videos of it on Instagram, and I'm like, that pig definitely is like a cool pig. Like,
Yeah.
I think
Pigs
Neil
have a
got
lot
in
of
trouble
person-
over that pig.
he got snitched on on 311 by somebody, but he still has the pig.
Nice.
I'd like a therapy raccoon. Like, can you call any animal a therapy
from a
pet
bad
and
night,
be able to
you mean,
keep
like-
it?
I spent
Woke
10
up from a bag night and there was a pig next to him. All right, I'll keep her.
I spent
That's
10
great.
minutes watching raccoon
that's fucked
videos
up,
the
okay.
other day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Raccoons seem fun.
Raccoons?
Yeah, I don't know
they
why.
Have thumbs. You
Yeah,
gotta be
man.
Careful.
They're
Have you ever seen one
nature's
eat
robbers.
seed or whatever? Like he's just like just
They'll
Adorable.
keep stuff like underwater, like alive while they're eating it, and like
Yeah.
rip it apart.
Yeah,
the water helps them feel it, so they put it under running water, and it's something with like a texture thing.
they wash their food too. They're
That's-
very,
yeah.
clean. Yeah.
Raccoons and otters. Those are the two things we ought to be
Oh, I love an
domesticating.
otter.
Otters are great.
Good otters.
Anyway, go to hell, PETA.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is the end of
yeah,
that.
Sorry, that was the end of
You know, like who's her name? Pamela Anderson is all into PETA
Yeah.
and Julian Assange.
Okay, let me see. I'll get on board with
Assange is into
like
PETA too?
what?
I think so.
I think you're right. Yeah, that's
Where's the
okay.
photo campaign of the
Fucking
nude?
whale fat does she have in her mouth and tits?
Right?
You know what I mean? Like, if you're really into
Only the
PETA.
finest implants.
She's
Yeah.
she's an
Come from
old
blubber.
whaling captain.
You know what I love? Did you watch the VMAs when Madonna went on stage and she started quoting "Natural Woman," but she didn't have any expression in her face? And I'm
I
like,
saw the clips.
There's no way with all that fucking collagen in your goddamn face that you
She's
feel like a natural woman.
Some really veiny arms these days too. But I'm not. I don't want to talk about Madonna that much.
That's fine.
Did anyone watch the VMAs?
No, I
didn't
forgot
know
it was
they
on.
happened until after.
Yeah,
My friend rode for this.
It was
one.
a Monday night, so I was obviously watching Paradise.
right.
Ah.
I'm a Bachelor guy. It's my favorite show on television. I'm a Bachelor guy.
All right. Well, that makes me feel a certain way about you.
Angry?
A little bit. It's time to get a little angry.
Enjoy your
Er.
Since Casey doesn't have a mic. Time to get a little venti.
That's 20.
Time to get a little pissed offy. Time to get a little scared for your life.
It's time to deep.
I'm doing this on purpose. Yeah.
Oh.
Time to go right ahead and tell everyone to shut up.
We gonna let the band deal with this.
Fatality.
Alrighty, this is the end of the show in which we give persons, places, and things that are lowering our quality of life and
Deproving
a
quality
hearty,
of existence.
a proverbial or literal shut up. Whew, this is tough. Casey, here you go.
I know, right? I don't know how to.
Here are the Fam Zone shut-ups.
I got a pocket full of beans, cold weed and ain't got no place to go.
John Colton says, "Shut up to working hungover on Saturday morning!" Exclamation point. Chrissy says, "Shut up to Chrissy's liver."
That is a reference to us discovering one Chrissy from the Fam Zone drunk as fuck. Last Sunday, she drunk dialed me while I was shopping for cat litter, and I brought said cat litter to the bar, and a lot of frivolity was had. They did not make it to the taping of the podcast.
A good time was had by all.
Good time was had by all. Brian, do you have any shut-ups?
Yeah, so I work in retail, and my schedule is, like an 18-year-old's. But I had to work Monday through Friday this week, and the work
Oh,
week.
no.
Shut up to the work week, man. It was no bueno. Did not like it. Gross. I like working 2 or 3 days, day off. 2 or 3 days, day off. 5 days in a row, open to close.
You can't work like a nurse. That's not what you are.
Sure, yeah, I'm very concerned with others' well-being. I'm a nurse.
No, you're not. All right, my shut up this week is to somewhat strange and awkward and lame dates. I'm not going into any more details because I don't have to.
I will, so just DM me.
Shh, quiet. John, any shut ups?
Shut up to insomnia. Let me sleep. I'm so tired.
Oh yeah.
I'm so fucking tired.
Oh, boy.
I've had no. I'm like my sleep schedule's just fucked, man. I can't handle it anymore.
Do you ever get into this situation where you go to sleep at like say 11 o'clock, then you wake up at 2?
Yep.
And you're like, well, I'm awake.
Yep.
What do I do now? I think I'm just gonna pee my pants for a while. What?
It's called being a parent.
Oh wow.
Well, he's not a parent. I'm not a parent. So shut up. Get out here. Shut up to Casey.
Shut up to parents telling me how hard they have it for not. wearing
to sleep right
not wearing a condom
you have
on purpose. Yeah. There we go.
Not gonna do it. All right.
This fucking heat, am I right?
Yes.
It's muggy as fuck.
I mean, that's Maryland weather. That's
Same
hey,
in Jersey.
You know what? Shut up to fucking people that say that shit. That's Maryland weather for you. It's so hot and humid out. Oh, what's up with that?
Who are the ad wizards who came up with that one?
Simon and Schuster. I don't know who that is.
What?
Simon and Schuster?
The book
Didn't
publishers?
some Broadway guy die?
Neil Simon.
Neil Simon.
Yeah, Neil Simon died.
He wrote
John
movies,
McCain
too.
died. Jeez. Oh.
Oh,
I know.
yeah.
Who will save the Nakatomi Plaza now?
I would totally watch a CGI John McCain saving.
Oh, you
Nakatomi
said
Plaza.
McCain. I thought you said McLean.
No, I did not. I said
I'm
McCain.
zero.
Anybody else got any shut-ups?
No.
Anybody? Okay, no, that has been it. All right, that has been Shut Ups, and this has been episode 242 of the CTB Show.
Nice, man.
Yeah. Bookmarking this as a future update, I am resurrecting the mothballed TBD Show feed and repurposing it as CTB Presents, whatever we do.
We are working on so many cool things, and we just need a place to put them.
Guys, how would you feel about the idea that we're working on a podcast about the show Quantum Leap?
Ooh.
Wow.
Just Quantum Leap?
Just Quantum
Just
Leap.
Quantum Leap.
Are you going like episode by episode?
Yes.
2 episodes an episode, yeah.
Oh, how
And
many
it's-
episodes of Quantum Leap are there?
96.
So is this like a limited run series
Yes.
you plan to do?
Well, but then we keep spitballing. So it's called Ziggy Gets It Wrong, a Quantum Leap podcast, because Ziggy's also getting
Ziggy
wrong.
gets it wrong,
Are you guys just putting quantum in front of everything? I'm sorry, there's an ant.
Right.
Did anybody see ant? Thank you. Yes. All right, I'm out. No, I'm just kidding.
So I thought of,
That's been my time.
That's it.
the Squeaky Gate, a Sliders podcast.
No, I veto.
Darwin's Pool, a Sequest DSV podcast.
I veto.
I don't know about that one.
It's not great.
Yeah, that's why I'm not so
But
sure.
those are really the only random 90s sci-fi shows I would really like to do.
Well, we've got that, our tip jar show, and what else do we... Oh, your ongoing comic book
the comic
project.
show that we're
What's the title of that again?
Things We Like, a comic book podcast.
Yeah.
A show,
I wish
a
we
show
talked about
books.
comic books more.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, well,
I didn't even think about superhero. We should have kept talking about superhero movies.
Yeah, we could talk for days.
Yeah, exactly.
poops. Well, we will have to have you both back on
I
at some point.
say,
Yeah.
you're going to be.
Yeah, if you're coming back through DC or whatever.
Yeah.
You did mention, and I forgot to follow up on this, wanting to do a Baltimore show.
Yeah, man.
I mean, we know enough people involved in the Baltimore scene that we could probably make that happen.
Awesome.
I mean, I don't personally know the Ungers at Magooby's Joke House, but that's so doable. I mean,
Sweet.
that's highly doable.
Please, yeah. I would love to do Magoobies.
Great. All right, so let's...
I think it's important to say we make zero promises because we don't know them.
Right. No, I get it.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, Evan's like, well, we'll make it happen.
No. I'm not
know.
saying I'm personally going to call
You can
Mark
say on the show
Unger...
you made it happen.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
your audience really.
We'll take the credit. That's fine.
Yeah, and when in 5 years when I actually get around to Magoobies, you're gonna be like, "That was me."
I made this happen.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yeah. All right, guys, give us your roundup of social media deets, and we'll send you on your way off to Adventureland.
Sweet. Just go to johnpoveromo.net, and you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and wherever the fuck else there is.
I've already followed you on Twitter.
Thank you, sir. Followed you back.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram under Platimo.
Platimo.
Yeah.
Well, I will
Platypus
follow
and
you as well.
Eskimo smashed together.
Nice.
Nice, easy way to do it. I do a lot of political rants, but I also have some good jokes on there, too, and I try to mix it up.
Cool. I like to interact with former guests on the Twitter. I do it often with Allison Robicelli, also a former Brooklynite
Oh yeah.
who moved down to Baltimore and decided that she liked it here, so she stayed.
Nice.
So did her family, and now she owns a restaurant in Brooklyn.
Oh, nice.
Pretty weird. All right. That has been episode. Any closing thoughts?
No, we were great, as
Great.
always.
Yeah,
No
killing it.
You guys were great.
That's great.
Yeah, everyone was great. Everything's
Yeah,
great.
that was fun, man.
We're all great. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for being a friend.
Send us money on that Venmo thing.
Send me money too.
Do you have a Venmo?
Good.
I do have a Venmo.
I actually have a good
Yeah,
day
he's
job.
good. I'll take some money.
Thank you very much for being a fan. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. Goodbye.